Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go on, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man, so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Happy, and I'm saying this with a giant smile on my face because I really am happy. Happy Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan, allows him to speak at 2 p.m. today day. Woo! A press availability. We need a countdown clock. We need everyone to know when it is that Bill Belichick will address the media. But before we do that, I have a problem on my hands here with a Zaslow who over the last few months has developed the confidence I've never seen in him before. He's been an icon in this business in South Florida for a long time, 20 years, but his confidence is soaring these days for reasons that are unexplained.
I'm not feeling confident today, though.
Well, this is the problem. He looked at me today, and it's because Don Van Natta is such an impressive journalist. Zaslow's been playing like he's telling everybody, I'm a judge, I'm a lawyer, I'm a journalist. What else?
I'm a race war expert.
You're a race war expert. And he's like, he's sitting here and he's like, I'm going to have to talk to Don Van Natta today. And he's looking at me and he's nodding and he's staring at me and he's mad, right? He's mad at me and he's losing confidence.
He's like the top investigative reporter in all of sports. This is a very respected man in our industry.
All right, don't be intimidated. The best game. Look, Tony's not intimidated. Tony's not intimidated.
So what? I don't know. Do I look my best? You know, I
what shirt
don't
is
know.
that? Let me see. What shirt are you wearing?
You're doing something new with your beard,
Reigning
huh?
champs.
Well, yeah, I have a beard now because I'm an adult.
Tony yesterday exhibited, as he often does, just unrelenting confidence. So, Mike, you weren't here to see that Tony 10 years ago walked up to me at Sandbar and said, we got next. Like, this was 10 years ago. We showed a picture of it yesterday. That's what Tony was 10 years ago, before he was a dad. I mean, you were still a teenager then, were you not?
I was probably in my early 20s, yeah.
And so he doesn't understand not having confidence around Don Van Natta. Don Van Natta is, I don't know. Let's think about this for a second.
I just hope he takes me serious as like a talk show host. That's all.
Let's see. You know that traditionally print journalists and investigative journalists don't respect radio people. Don't respect radio people. I don't think there's anything about today other than your intellect that you have to fight with. And you don't suffer from a lack of respect from Don Van Natta. He's not smarter than you. He's not better than you. If you're not going to allow Cody to be better than you, why is Don Van Natta better than you? Don Van Natta can't do radio, doesn't do television. He's just a print guy. And entertainers generally look down on print guys, no matter how good they are as reporters.
I just want to give off a good first impression, okay? He's never seen me. You meet someone, a respected guy for the first time. I want to give off
this is the first time?
First time he'll see me. Like, I've talked to him before when I've been on ESPN for sure, but he doesn't know what I look like. But now we're going to, meet eye to eye.
He probably knows who you are as a South Floridian. I'm sure he knows who you are. You're more famous than Don Van Natta.
Oh, my God. Don't fall
Dan,
for
what are you
this.
doing?
Stop. He said already that he respects him, and you're like, why should you respect him? He's a print guy. You're an entertainer. Look at you. You're so already trying to drive a wedge between Zaz and DeAnne. Don't fall for it.
Juju, put it on the poll. Who's more famous in South Florida? Don Van Natta or Zaslow? Like, I'm in the local hour here, and this is all I meant. Who's more famous in South Florida, Zaslow or Don Van Natta?
I think it's close.
Don Van Natta, he's a two-time Heat broadcasting champion. Van Natta also...
I'm not falling for your trap. You're trying to suck me in. I'm not doing it. Stop doing this. Stop trying to stir.
It's unnecessary.
Jonathan Zaslow.
I just want to be respected.
Two-time champion broadcaster. And Don Van Natta hasn't ever won anything that impressive, just a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, my gosh. All right, I'm logging the show.
Just a Pulitzer Prize.
I'm logging the show.
What? Put it on the poll, at Le Batard Show. What's more impressive, winning a Pulitzer Prize or winning 2 championships?
Okay, logging the show. First segment,
Plural.
5 minutes on Fame-Off between Don Van
Good.
Natta and
Put it in the
Jonathan
log.
Zaslow.
That's fine. Let's do
Log
a
it.
Fame-Off. That's good. So this is my point. He's going to join us in 35 minutes to talk about Pablo Torre having a top 100 of all-time podcast, kicking the Pulitzer Prize winner's ass on that Union story, because now Van Natta's just chasing him. He's grifting off of Pablo Torre the way that Pablo Torre grifted off of Jordan.
Speaking of pivot, Dan, I'm still logging the show. Dan turns his attention to driving a wedge between Pablo and Don Van Natta now.
I don't think you need to concentrate on that part. I think you need to concentrate on what it is that we're doing around here today, which is we're talking first to Don Van Natta. But later in the show, I'd argue we've got what for our show is one of the most exciting people that we could get in sports to do much of anything. If I made a short list of who would you want on our show, this guy fits on our show. Chris Cody was just saying, Elle Duncan, that's a big, strong introduction for her. Boban is going to join us. And so we can talk John Wick and Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore too with him. But the serious story that we're going to do with Don, he's very busy because America's most popular sport has a whole bunch of employees who are really mad because they're learning by reading things and listening to things with Pablo and Don about how mismanaged some of their stuff has been. When I want to take you guys back a little bit, okay? Because you saw what a clown Jerry Jones made of himself the other day. And I want you to examine for a second, just examine how many other owners felt the need to speak when training camp began throughout football. And I want you to ask yourself, not me, ask yourself, how many owners can you name? Because when Zaslow asked, do you think Jerry Jones does all of this on purpose? And the answer is yes. Jerry Jones just wants to be in front of everybody so that they know that he's running things. And that's all it is that Jerry Jones wants. Don Van Natta knows him very well, has written some of the original things about what Jerry Jones is, so we'll talk to him about that. But the story that Dominique Foxworth really just blew me away with the first time he told it. He's like, I sat across from Jerry Jones, we started to negotiate, and for the first time in my life, I realized, oh my God, I've been giving him too much credit because he's just wealthy, and I thought he was smarter than me. He's not smarter than me. He's not smarter than me. Like, I'm negotiating again. And these owners are not smarter than some of these people that they can abuse because it's always DeMaurice Smith running the union. Because it's always people who run this stuff get together at the top of the cabal and they make their own deals so that the guy who's running the players union can go to the strip club on a $700 tab on players' bodies. And I'm telling you, the players are super pissed off. You're not going to hear about it because that's not the way of that culture, to be telling you. Some guys are doing it, but to tell you from the inside, holy, do you have any idea how mad I am that I'm reading Don Van Natta and Pablo, and they know more about where my money's going than I do. They know about where my union protections are more than I do. I want to call Pablo and Don and tell them more because I need leadership in here that can actually help us fight a Jerry Jones who's not smarter than us, but has gone from owning a team that he paid $150 million for to owning a team that doesn't win that's now worth more than the Lakers.
There's so many guys, though, in the union membership. I mean, you got 53 guys per team. How much of membership do you think is actually up to speed with anything that's going on? Can't be a lot, right?
I like Kevin Clark's take on what's going on with Jerry Jones. Yeah. He was on First Take, and he said, quote, when I look at Jerry Jones, I think of one thing. If the football gods came down and said, Jerry, you get to win the next 3 Super Bowls, but the catch is you can't do a press conference. He looks at the football gods and says, no deal.
I think it's true.
Wouldn't most people agree with that? You think if I ask most people who know football, hey, Jerry Jones, what would he prefer to do, win a football game or win a press conference? Like if you told him you can only do one for the rest of your life.
I think he says, why can't I have both? I think I want it all.
I understand that that's what he would say, but I'm not offering him that choice. I'm saying you have to pick. He has all. Yeah. Like he
usually works that way, though, for billionaires. They don't really ever consider that there's an option that they don't get what they want.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned all of that because there are a number of things I want to talk about today, including what it is that Rodrigo De Paul is doing to South Florida that is making it smolder in a way that Rose in the other room is talking about soccer in a way it seems like we have not talked about even Messi around here, because this heartthrob has come into town and everyone seems to love everything this human being's about.
So there is this player, Rodrigo de Paul, a national team player, one of Messi's teammates on the national team for Argentina, coming over from Atletico Madrid. And this is, look, the headline is that this guy's hot as right? This guy's beautiful. He's got the tattoo on the neck. It's a sword. He's got the long blonde hair. Some Beckham vibes, right?
Tattoo on the neck must hurt, man.
Yeah, but it works with soccer players. I think he's got pearl earring here. The guy gives off sex appeal, no doubt. There's a lot of fun stuff circling around Inter Miami and the assumption that they just call their own shots in MLS. This is one of them. I was on this beat for a little bit, and Tom Bogert did some great reporting. The MLS office had no idea how to register this player because Miami doesn't actually have space for him, according to league rules.
So why do they get to do it?
That's right.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Neck tattoo hurt more than all the others?
Inner thigh?
Chest.
I've got a fair amount of tattoos. I will say nothing hurt me more than the one on the knee.
It's bone, right? When you're doing
Yeah,
tattoo
there's
over bone,
there's a
it's
lot of
kinda
shading
worse.
on it. That one by far was like twice as painful as any of the other tattoos that I have. But
you don't have a neck tattoo, and Zaslow is alleging that.
I have one. I will say the one that I have a Miami-Dade tattoo right here on my trap.
More of a trap tattoo,
and that's kind of close to it. And that one did hurt. There's a fair amount of shading.
What about the skull? You remember Bam Bam Bigelow?
Bam Bam Bigelow?
Tattoos all over his head.
That would be bad. So let's rank them. Let's see where it is here, and let's not. Nobody has elbow tattoos, right? There's no such thing.
No, I mean
there's such thing.
The knee is the elbow of the lower body.
All right. So what? Let's see. So elbow. All right. What are the? Give me five. You got knee. If we were doing a top five, what you imagine people would vote for on this?
Chest.
Tattoos that would hurt
Text
the
Juju.
most.
Text Juju. Juju's got tattoos. I think he's certainly got a tattoo on his neck, right?
Okay, because Zaslow reacted as if the neck would be bad, and I would think bone and skull would be worse. I just would imagine that bone and skull. Zaslow doesn't seem like an authority on these issues.
How do you know I'm not all tatted up? You don't know.
I don't know, but I can make certain assumptions, I feel.
What about the way I look would tell you that I'm not tatted up?
Well, I don't see any.
There's that, but I don't see any on Mike right now as I look on him, and he just had, okay, there they are. Oh, that's my brother's tattoo that has the misspelling.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for that. I proofread it. And I was like, yeah, that's him.
That's a beautiful memory, though.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it wasn't misspelled. I could easily fix it, too, but...
That's the last thing my brother did.
Yeah.
Do you know that I could literally solve all your debt by it would just cost you your right arm?
I've thought about it.
That you have that is the most valuable thing that you have the last work of my brother. It's the last thing that he did in the hospital, and he was drugged up and he was dying, and it has a misspelling in it, and it is on your arm, and you honor him by not fixing it, because in his work, like in Basquiat's, when my brother would misspell things, he just cross it out and keep moving. If I cut off, I believe we should do that as a stunt.
Yeah.
To keep up with Barstool, to keep up
Let's
with.
do it at a Flanagan's or
Yeah,
something.
so
Cut off my arm.
Mike cuts off half of his right arm, and we give it to Ron McGill's endowment.
We can just skin it, too.
Skin it, that's better.
Let's skin it.
Like a fillet.
So I can, because I am right-handed. If I wasn't, then we could have a different
How
conversation.
valuable do you imagine? How valuable do you
at
imagine
least $7,000.
that my brother's last work with a misspelling in it? With a misspelling, $7,000? Are you crazy?
Yeah, $7,000.
No, much more than that. On a
$7,000.
human arm?
Yeah, and I will give your brother credit. $6,000 of that is the art. The other grand is the fact that it's printed on human skin.
Juju has weighed in. He's nominated 2 places: the forehead/hairline area and the kneecap.
Yeah, all right, good. I'm glad I'm not alone. And Juju has the experience there, too. That kneecap had me seeing stars a little bit.
There was a suggestion of the lip as well from some of the folks out
All right,
there.
so do this.
Which
All right,
one?
Let's just ask the internet here. Make it lip, elbow, skull, neck, kneecap. And make it those 5 and see how the voting comes in.
Yeah, I do think the neck is probably pretty painful because the one that I have on my trap, which is close enough to that area, that's probably the second most.
You like
painful one
telling
I have.
everyone you got one on your trap.
I do. I got so many.
Several times you mentioned.
I got so many. I got my chest, everything. I got like close to 20.
Zaslow, is what you're reacting to there that calling it your trap seems like what? Like weightlifter's vanity or what? Or like what is it?
Trapezius?
Yeah,
Would
like
you
I
prefer
don't
that?
have traps.
No,
I
you
don't know
don't.
if you could tell.
I
I
can.
don't have traps.
Soda body.
And it feels like you want everybody to know you have traps.
I don't think I need to let anyone know that I have traps.
I mean, Mike is a pretty substantive ego, and it reminds me of something else here, where you find like the most of male machismo, okay, in some weightlifting. I don't know if you guys know the person I discovered yesterday, but what a delight to discover this person yesterday. Now, you may know it by description, but I asked everybody here if they knew who Anatoly was. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, because I discovered this person Anatoly, and he's very famous, but he's internet famous, and he's not famous by name. And I thought I was coming in here today to tell a whole bunch of people about a person that they would all tell me, yeah, Dan, you're 40 years late to this. This guy has had 1 billion followers forever, because what he's doing on the internet is unlike anything you've ever seen on the internet when it comes to sketch comedy, where people aren't acting, where you can question whether the people are acting, but they're not acting. And the reason they're not acting is because a human being who is not very impressive, even when not in costume, somebody who looks physically small and is certainly fit, but is small and isn't very muscular, keeps going into gyms where there are these giant inflated steroid heads, people who are using all sorts of horse anabolics to lift 500 pounds. And I have never seen a human being of this size and stature who, dressed as a janitor or an old man, goes in and shows these bodybuilders that he can do what they do with one arm. Like that he's a power lifter that's so strong that they are clearly baffled, because what he's doing is superhuman. He's accusing them of having fake weights, and then when he goes over them, he lifts easily things that they are really struggling to lift, because he is stronger than any human being I've seen at that size, because he's a professional deadlifter, and he's a champion deadlifter, and he's just physically connected. But he's walking into these rooms where he is 2 and 3 times smaller than people who are all inflated on male ego.
That's real, what I'm seeing there?
Everything you're seeing is real, and none of it is fake, including the reactions of the people. This person's very famous on the internet. Like I just got to him yesterday, and I could not stop. I could not stop watching these videos and wanted to tell people, somebody get this guy for me. I want to talk to him, because what he is doing is...
Like, these people are stunned watching what he's doing.
They have to be stunned, because I've never seen somebody, if you take the costume off him, I've never seen somebody who has this much strength. So to see it in a body that's an old man, and this is the funniest thing he does. He's a janitor, right? And so because he's walking around with a mop, they all underestimate him. He's in sandals and socks, okay? Like, he's walking around the gym, he's apologizing to everybody, and he's holding a mop, and it becomes clear as part of what it is that he's laying out, that the reason that they think he's this strong is because when they go to grab the mop from him, it's 1 million pounds. Like, they go to grab it, and none of them can move it because it sticks to the floor, and they think there's a magnet there. So then they think, oh, the reason this guy is this strong, this is what they tell their friends. Because no, their friends aren't going to believe what they just saw. They go home and they tell their friends, hey, this tiny dude just deadlifted 200 more pounds than me. And the way he got that strong is his mop's 1 million pounds. He's a janitor, and his mop is 1 million pounds. We've got to start training with 1 million pound mops so that we can win at the Olympics, because we're not getting strong enough. I have never in my life seen a human being of that size have a fraction of the strength that man has.
So, like, he's buttering them up by claiming that the weights are fake, that they're plastic, that they're not metal.
That's not buttering them up. What he's going to, I can't imagine how much good footage this guy has of power lifters trying to kick his ass because of how rude he is, interrupting their workouts, saying he's sorry, being clueless. But what he's giving off the entire time is weakness, meekness.
Right.
He's, at the entire time, the only reason he's welcomed in is because they think he's harmless.
And I think that's why they're not kicking his ass, right? Because of the fact that I did this weight where you said it was a PR, personal record. I just did it 8 times, and I showed you I could lift it up with one hand. That's where the respect comes in for these guys, where you're like, okay, dude, what's up? I dap you up. Let's go.
Well, that's what's funny to see each time is the story arc of clearly underestimating somebody who visually looks like you should underestimate him, walking into a world of what looks like on the outside strong male ego, but it's pretty fragile. Because as soon as he shows you that he's stronger than you, all of a sudden, you have all sorts of respect for this dude that you didn't want bothering you 5 minutes ago.
Damn.
Shame on anyone that falls for this costume, though. This is a terrible disguise.
Bad beard,
I mean,
too,
he
yeah.
looks like
The
one of the
beard's
Beastie
bad.
Boys in the 90s. I mean, this is the second worst disguise that I've seen on television outside of... Do you remember when Gordon Ramsay was on Undercover Boss? Do we have an image of Gordon Ramsay on Undercover Boss? Because that wasn't fooling anyone.
What? That's a garbage pail kid. That's not Gordon Ramsay.
Wait a minute, who is that?
He
What
dressed
is-
like a Nazi.
That looks like Jason from the Friday movies. Like, what is that? What is
That's
happening?
Undercover Boss.
No, but
Yeah, he went undercover. I don't know if that was Gordon Ramsay, but it was an episode of Undercover
Mike,
Boss where a guy was...
Mike, this person, okay, the reason that this person, you can say that the costume stinks, but the reason this whole thing works is because all of those weightlifters are clearly very surprised. Like that's not acting. The thing that he's doing with the weights, he's been doing it for a long time. So I imagine he's a little bit like Ali G at this point. He can't do it everywhere.
speaking of
People know
bodies,
who he is.
Did you watch it? Did you see Sacha Baron Cohen's new body? He's on the cover of Muscle and Fitness.
I don't like
Yeah. Well, they're giving credit. Let's grab
he's
that image,
Marvel
too.
now, that's why, right?
Yeah. That's what. Oh, his Mephisto transformation. Let me tell you
Please.
something. That divorce got finalized last week. That's what that is.
PEDs.
Wow. Wait a minute. If you guys are going to do that arrogantly.
I don't think it's PEDs.
I do.
You think it's PEDs? I mean, he doesn't look that good. Like, he's
Hold
very
on
good.
a second.
Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
Thank you. So, if we take a look on the screen right now,
Ah,
Sacha Baron Cohen, notably thin soda drinker's
Oh,
body.
I don't like it. I don't like what I see there.
All of a sudden, now it's like, oh, I'm ripped. I'm 1% body fat. I got the V cut.
Yeah, the V.
I'm vascular. Guys, this is classic Hollywood PED use.
No, this is classic Photoshop. Look at the lighting. Look at the oiled him up. He's vascular because he's holding 2 free weights in his hand.
Oh
too.
my
This-
God.
30s.
all touched up.
Yeah,
And
all
let me tell you
30s.
something. We know that his hair color is not that. All
That's
right?
true. Also
So-
PED.
Right. So I guess what you're saying is if he's willing to go that far on the hair, then
He's going to go that far in the body.
I don't think that's PED. That's a very natural looking body.
You don't think that's test?
No.
You don't think,
no.
how old is he? 50-something?
I would argue that is him getting fit and healthy, but that was very Jeff Teague of you, Tony. Can I get that Jeff Teague sound?
Jeff Teague.
Oh, can I get the Jeff Teague sound? Like it's reckless.
50 years old, Dan.
Yeah, I did this to LeBron as well, though, so I don't know how much I can question Jeff Teague here. And I will say this because I don't know anything, and I have never actually heard anyone around the Miami Heat say that he was using steroids and growth hormone, even though we made all the jokes when he would leave for a couple of weeks or need some time that he was, going to refill the fuel tank. But if LeBron James is doing something at the top of basketball still at an age that is older than any player ever and is the oldest player in the league, if he's able to do something like that, he could be unprecedented. And if you had to bet and be right about whether or not someone got to unprecedented and won because they didn't cheat and were just better than all of the other cheaters, including time, or LeBron James did it naturally.
He's been spending millions of dollars on his body every year.
Yeah, you got to bet and be right. You got to bet and be right. So I understand where all those questions are on LeBron James. I don't believe that he ages that naturally. But LeBron James's body has a thickness and a size that is natural for what it is that he's doing, and we've seen it largely be the same his entire life, as opposed to like Barry Bonds or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson even, whose body has changed a lot at 50. But Sacha Baron Cohen looks like he's just gotten all of the inflation out of his body, that whatever his soda drinking and bad habits were, that he's just totally leaned out here with a good deal of musculature, but he's also like 6% body fat.
I don't like the way Sacha Baron Cohen looks there because you're not funny anymore if that's what you look like. That's not a funny person. That's not a guy who could be Borat. That guy's not funny. I don't like it.
Well, he's a dramatic actor now.
Okay, well, he's not funny.
The last things he hasn't he been doing more drama than comedy recently? He got scarred by Hollywood, man. Like, he had huge success. They promised him 3 movies, and then after the first one failed, they broke their promise because that's what those people do in Hollywood.
Who's the funniest ripped guy?
Carrot Top was.
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's not lost his funny because he got jacked.
That's true.
Well, but he's gone. Look, we're going to do
jacked?
this. We're going to do.
Yeah,
he is.
and he did not lose his funny. And Joe Rogan got more popular after he
He's
got
not
jacked.
like this jacked.
I'm just look. We're going to do this now. Dave Chappelle. I don't know where he is now in his body.
Soda body,
age.
What are we
No
doing
problem
now?
with this.
Answering your question? Yes, we are doing this now. We are answering your question, Dan. There are plenty of funny, jacked comedians. In fact, you'd be shocked.
That wasn't my question.
This is what we're doing now, answering questions on the show.
Dave Chappelle, though, has gone from, he's had different body types. And there was a time when he was down here in Miami a lot where he was like super swole. He is not that now. I don't know if he is jacked now. Like, I don't know if he has a body that's.
He is. He's still like Meatbone. He just wears jackets in his stand-up specials, but he's still a big guy.
It's a jacked off.
So what's the answer? Carrot Top was super jacked for a while. Is your answer Chappelle? That's the funniest muscular guy there's been. And who lost their funny? There have been comedians. There have been Joe Piscopo lost his funny when he went from. Well, no, wait a minute.
He was always kind of in shape, even in SNL.
Yeah, but he got super jacked. Who are the other ones? There are people who have been accused of getting less funny as they've lost weight.
I mean, jacked and in good shape is different things. Like, I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen is jacked. I think he's in good shape. Eddie Murphy's always been in good shape. There is one guy that can't afford to get jacked and can't afford to have a body transformation, and it's Shane Gillis. Yeah. That, like, as his whole thing.
That would be a bad look.
But so was Bert.
Yeah, Bert Kreischer, too.
And Bert got a little fit, but now he's,
but he's back.
He got a little fit.
Kevin James did an MMA movie.
Yeah, and he's in, like,
Most
for
forget.
him. Yeah, great shape for him.
I guess Joe Rogan is a stand-up comedian. He's in good shape.
Oh, Steve Martin also.
Great shape for him is so insulting.
Weird nips. And that's coming from me.
Put it on the poll. Does Joe Rogan have weird nipples? At Le Batard Show.
Let me see these things.
I wanted to talk. It took me too long to get here. My apologies for taking so long to get here. South Park.
Oh, my God.
South Park had a much anticipated episode last night. And you know, if you've been listening to this show for a while and bored by my dronings, that I really care about some of the things that are happening at the top of corporate media that swallow Stephen Colbert and that make us have conversations where you've got Jon Stewart saying on television, if you have the Colbert Show and you have South Park and you have the Daily Show, doesn't that represent the grand majority of the $8 billion that we're talking about in the Skydance FCC Paramount merger? If you free those 3 creators to do whatever they want, South Park, The Daily Show, and Stephen Colbert, I can't believe that I missed that we're at the gates of the revolution here, where the funny jesters on television are compromised and bought and have to work under corporate media. But what South Park's gangsters did as a entity last night that prides itself on making fun of how soft Seth MacFarlane's Family Guy is and how weak The Simpsons are, even though they're the standard in this business, because it doesn't actually stand for anything. Simpsons have made a ton of money. Their people are brilliant, but as soon as the Apu stuff happened, they ran for the hills. The South Park guys don't respect that. The South Park guys want to do this with attitude. For them to produce that episode after securing the deal for $1.5 billion of FU money, to watch what these 3 entities are going to do if they don't make Josh Johnson wear a jacket because they're still doing Grandpa Jon Stewart's TV show, and let Josh Johnson do the next wave of whatever this is. These 3 entities are going after Trump. My God, being able to laugh about Trump is so much more effective than sermonizing about hating him. To be able to make people laugh about the absurdity that everyone hates this clown now. Everyone hates this felonious orange turd. Like where like you've got clearly the cover up yesterday. That's the Wall Street Journal. They can't print that unless it's true. Do you know what would come down on them? Like, they've got that story locked. Rupert Murdoch has information, and he is now looking to bury this man. Go ahead, sue him all you want. Go ahead and fight with Murdoch, because he's got late night television. That ain't going anywhere. His late night television can work forever. His goes right. He's got money forever. Rupert Murdoch has the goods on Trump, and he printed some of them yesterday. Do you know how hard that is to do? Do you know how hard it is to go straight from there to Obama treason? South Park gets to make fun of that. Jon Stewart gets to make fun of that. And Colbert's about to be able to do it on their television before they sell him? Holy, are we going to have fun the next 10 months watching what South Park and everyone else produces?
Squeezing them. There's going to be good art that comes from this. It's going to be audacious. It's going to be offensive. I'll buck up against the fact that no one likes this guy. I think he still has an annoyingly fair amount of supporters that will go through anything with him.
On this issue, I mean on this issue, when you've got FBI assistant directors having a crisis of conscience. I'm just on this issue. On pedophilia, we're pretty much all united there. All right? We're pretty much all united on don't lie to us about pedophilia.
Largely, I agree.
I'm on the right side there.
Yeah, largely
on the left side.
The right side of the issue.
On the left side. Well, it's all now confusing.
The correct side.
I don't think there are sides to this one. At least I didn't think so. But yeah,
it'd be the first one if there aren't there's been sides to everything the last 10 years.
Right, but this is he rode this wave to getting reelected in the greatest political comeback of all time, and he didn't shy away from it all that much. And certainly the cronies around him built audiences like Charlie Kirk, his lieutenant over at the FBI. These are all people that pounded the table. His own son, his own vice president. They're all people that said, we got to hold these people accountable. Why aren't they releasing the Epstein files? And I mean, look, I don't know if you saw the developments overnight. The attorney for the state for the Epstein survivors said that he does indeed have the letter, and he's going to turn it over to authorities. You remember the letter that was fake, that didn't exist. So like right then and there, he didn't. This is where Donald Trump's proclivity to say hoaxes and fake all the time actually does come back to bite him. This one's very fresh. Wait, you've lost all credibility. Now I know every time I think he's lost credibility, he always wiggles out of it. I do kind of feel like he's kind of caught dead to rights on the letter, at least if the letter is real when he was telling us it's fake.
Of course, I overstate it when I say that everyone doesn't like this guy, but it's open season on making fun of him. And when South Park unloads the cannons, it is something to behold.
I couldn't believe what I was watching last night. I really couldn't. You know, my kids were a very open household, all right? And they love South Park. They've been watching South Park since they were little. The Simpsons. My older son has seen every episode of The Simpsons, all right, since he was little. Like, we love that. And now I don't regularly watch it, so last night I didn't know what I was about to walk into with South Park. I knew it was the season premiere, but I didn't know what I was about to walk into. And my younger son, my 13-year-old, he's sitting on the couch with me, and it's like 9:45, and we know that South Park is coming up. He's like, hey, do you want to watch South Park? I go, yes, I do. And so we put on South Park, and we're watching it together, and I couldn't believe it because, so it's the middle of the episode, right? And they go to the Oval Office, and Trump is turned facing the window, so you can only see his hair is there behind the chair. And then he swivels the chair around. It's like, whoa, they are actually using his face. And so from that point on, it was, I can't believe that, because we've seen them do this with, you know, he's in bed with Satan there, and he's got the schmeckle sticking out. And we've seen this with, they do this to Saddam Hussein, and they do this to Kim Jong-un, you know? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't remember anyone doing this to the president of the United States, all right? That's our president. It was crazy what we were watching. And they got him with the micro penis, and my son and I, we are howling throughout the show. I couldn't believe what we were watching. It was crazy. Then I'm just thinking, oh, like, how does Trump find out about it? Is it his, you know, someone, you know, part of his, you know, communications department who brings it to us, hey, so this happened last night. And are they showing Trump pictures of him in bed with Satan where he's wanting to have sex with Satan, you know? And Satan's playing very hard to get. Satan's got feelings, you know? Like, does someone show...
I used to date someone just like you.
Right. Does someone show him that, or does he actually then say, I want to watch the episode, you know, before... I'm fascinated by how the information comes to him.
And there's like a non-zero chance that he has no idea Comedy Central is owned by Paramount.
This is going to be a time of great creativity and pain. The the phrase you used, and I don't know the schmeckle.
Yeah, a little schmeckle.
Well, what is it? But what is a
It's
schmeckle?
like Yiddish for penis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
schmeckle.
right. Can confirm.
Okay, just I'd never heard that before.
Little schmeckle.
How does one spell schmeckle?
Probably SCHMEKEL.
Is it?
He's exactly right.
Is it a baby? So is it a baby's penis?
Yeah.
What is a schmeck? What is a
Yeah.
schmeckle? So it's
Look
a
at a little schmeckle.
Okay, so
Just
I got it.
We need to
for
further
penis.
explore
I got
and
it.
say things like baby penis on the air. Like,
I'm
I
glad we
got
did
it.
that.
I'm caught up.
I was going to try and figure out a joke there that wove it all together, and then I just sort of backed away from all of the pedophilia and all of the stuff.
There we go.
happening in the-
You don't say that.
So
That's
this
good.
is a change of pace for South Park. They use Mr. Garrison as an avatar for Donald Trump in the first term. No,
You want to rally?
No, I don't think that's Mr. Garrison.
Oh, damn it.
That's the other one. But that was a very good impression, though. But they kind of shied away. Like, everyone knew they were talking about Trump, but they shied away, and they used this gay character to be Donald Trump, and they thought that would needle him. Now they're just going to use his face, which is usually reserved for tyrants.
Yeah, right.
He is.
We were howling, the two of us. Because again, I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't realize that was the episode they were doing. And then it's, whoa, they got this whole thing going on with Paramount, which, by the way, they just signed a $1.5 billion deal. And how did they turn the episode around so fast that it,
Oh, have you seen the special?
No.
The South Park, for their, I think, 25th anniversary, did a documentary on how these episodes come together. It comes together in a matter of days, and it's like everybody's hair is on fire.
But
Dude
that's
literally
very
has to drive a
impressive.
tape to load it into a satellite for them to make it to air.
Dan, breaking NFL news. According to Ralph Vacciano, the card is now out for Justin Fields on the practice field. He's positioned behind a tree, no sign of what's going on, but the card is out for Justin Fields.
Oh, poor Stugotz, man. Not Justin Fields, Stugotz. The answer was always the same when I was texting my friends, hey, what's going to happen here with the head of the players union? What do you think will happen when it was still uncertain about everything that's happening with him? Is it about what Pablo Torre found out, or is it about what's about to come out? And I told you it was the strip club. I told you it was the reporting about the strip club, and I told you that he was trying to save everything, and then it all changed when he's like, Van Natta's sniffing around. Van Natta's asking questions. Then all of a sudden he shut everything down. So Pablo smoked it out, but Van Natta made him quit. Don Van Natta, the Pulitzer Prize winner, joins us now, and he's very busy. He's a senior writer for ESPN, and he continues to investigate all of this stuff. This is just the beginning, isn't it, Don? This is about you guys. Now that you guys are sniffing around, this is about to get a whole lot worse.
Absolutely, Dan. Great to see you. It will get worse because there's a federal criminal investigation going on in Brooklyn, looking very closely at the NFLPA and the MLBPA. That's how I got started in this. I want to set the record straight a little bit about Pablo. Pablo did get that 61-page collusion ruling, which certainly intensified our investigation. But a month prior to that, Jeff Passan and I broke a story at ESPN that the NFLPA and the MLBPA are under criminal investigation for one-team partners, which is this company that was co-founded by the two unions and Redbird Capital, looking into financial irregularities there. So that's when I first started getting interested. But no doubt, when Pablo got that 61-page collusion ruling that the union, literally Lloyd Howell, tried to bury with a confidentiality agreement that we reported with the NFL, then from that moment we did that story, I think it was 9 days from that story to when we found out about the strip clubs and Lloyd Howell resigned. It was quite quick.
What would you tell us is most important for the audience to know about your most recent reporting?
Well, the story that we did yesterday, that Kaylin Kaler and I did, is a deep dive, more than 3,000 words, that takes you inside how Lloyd Howell got his job. He was elected in the most secretive process in union history. The architect of that secret process was J.C. Tretter. J.C. Tretter was a former NFLPA president who then Lloyd Howell he created a new job for him, actually, called Director of Strategy. And interestingly, Tretter, as Director of Strategy, knew nothing about the collusion ruling and a lot of other things that were going on that Lloyd Howell was keeping from the players. So, Dan, you had a secretive election that put Lloyd Howell in the job, and then many decisions, as we laid out in our story yesterday, that Howell made kept the players in the dark, not just about the collusion ruling, but even after he got his job. And details came out about his previous work at Booz Allen, where he was the CFO and in charge of that company when there was one of the largest fraud cases of overbilling of the federal government. After he got his job, just 3 weeks later, a settlement was set between Booz Allen and the federal government. $377 million fine was paid by Booz Allen. And a month later, the Washington Post reported that a whistleblower at Booz Allen brought all this alleged fraud, turned out to be fraud, right on the desk of Lloyd Howell, and he said, nothing to see here. All that came out just within a few weeks of Howell getting his job. A top union lawyer wanted to tell the player reps who had just voted Lloyd Howell in that information, and they were never told. So time and again, inside the union, players, the entire membership, even the leadership, even J.C. Treader didn't know what was going on. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways of yesterday's story that Kaylin and I did.
Zaz is a radio legend. He's an entertainer. I feel that he's getting a little bit bored when we get into the weeds here on some of this stuff. So, Van Natta, can you please impress Zaz and Chris Cote with, like, what are the dirtiest parts of this story? Like, what's coming next? Give them the dirty stuff. Like, impress us with, instead of union talk, try to entertain. You old-timey print journalist guys, like, do a little clown dance for us and tell us where's the dirtiest, what's the worst of it, and what's coming next?
Well, certainly the strip club stuff, which we absolutely have to talk about, because that was really the end of Lloyd Howell's tenure. I had been hearing about a week earlier that he was going to strip clubs, taking employees at the NFLPA to strip clubs during events, and started chasing it. And literally in the course of just a few hours, last Thursday afternoon, we heard a lot of details about it, particularly the one which to me is one of the most astonishing things I've ever come across in my career. Lloyd Howell flew to Fort Lauderdale International Airport at 10:36. Got into a car hired by the union, and that car took him directly to Tootsie's Cabaret. Let me tell you what Tootsie's Cabaret is if you don't know. It's in Miami Gardens, Florida.
Oh, we know. We know.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
It's
No,
the
just
biggest.
go and describe it.
It's the biggest. We know.
Solid spot.
Never seen it. What is it?
We know.
It's the largest in the world.
That's what they
It's
call
in a-
themselves. Yep.
We know.
That's right. 76,000
You're not
square
impressing
feet.
them, print guy. Listen,
All right.
the entertainers know what you're talking about.
Okay,
And Chris
good.
Cote and Zaslow, too.
All right. Well, what we found out, which Lloyd Howell I don't think knew that we knew this, is that the car sat outside while he was in there through the night for 7 hours, because he got out about 5:30, and then the car took him to his apartment in Sunny Isles Beach at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. And here's the key to this. This was charged to the union. And I don't think Lloyd Howell knew that we even knew that and had the documents. And when he found that out, he didn't find that out, nor did the executive committee until our story came out the following day. But he knew the bad optics of that, as well as a visit in Atlanta to the Magic City Strip Club, which is quite famous in Atlanta.
Lemon wings.
Chicken wings, yeah.
Chicken wings are famous, right? A lot
Smaller
of
than
rappers
you'd
love
think.
that place. Right. And so those two
Schmeckles.
visits on the expenses of the NFLPA were really the last straw for Lloyd Howell. So
Tell
there
you,
it is.
Dan, that's some chutzpah. $700+.
It's just this. I thought that was the deal. I swear to you, when it happened, and Van Natta knew this when he wrote it, when I read $700 from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, and Van Natta, you can take us through this. You submit questions to get to Lloyd Howell that are going to say, why'd it take 8 hours? Why'd you go straight from the airport? And Lloyd Howell picks up the phone. He says, I resign. These are not questions I want. You asked very detailed questions that had him caught on, you spent $800 of union money with a car just sitting outside a strip club, and you went straight from the airport.
And it's not a long ride. It's not like it's a schlep.
No, it's a $40 Uber.
That's right. And this is a guy worth $100 million, and a $700 receipt cost him this job that pays him $3.4 million a year. And you're right, Dan, when I called them with those questions, I knew the answers to them, because I knew I was going to get the document. I didn't have it yet, but I had it described to me and knew I was going to get it in a matter of a few hours. And Lloyd Howe resigned not knowing I was going to get the document, because then he went into an executive committee meeting, which is also kind of stunning. We reported yesterday. He basically sat down with the 10 guys that elevated him to the job, and they were still all in, begging him not to quit. He told them about the strip club, but not honestly. And he hung in there because I think he probably assumed correctly that we were going to get the receipts, and we got them and published the story the next day.
Can we agree that if you're at the strip club from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. and you're an adult, you're a loser? I mean, what? Like, he's supposed to be a professional.
Or having a great deal of fun.
What about 12 to 6?
Come on.
Or having a great deal of fun.
8 hours?
It is a long time, but have you been to Tootsie's? Like, they're not profitable from, I haven't been. They're not profitable from midnight to 8 a.m. because it's not active from midnight to 8 a.m. Isn't it open 24 hours? Okay, there we go. I've lost all my credibility on this issue because I don't know anything about it.
It's not open 24 hours, no. I've heard.
Look, again, he wants to go to the strip club on his own time with his own money. I don't care. Nobody cares. Right? This is union money. These are union dues paid for by players that he used for this car service on a Thursday night. Okay, it was a school night, and Friday at 6 a.m. the car dropped him off at his place, and so the optics of that clearly were not good, and he knew that, and that was it.
I wanted to have Don on also to talk about his upcoming book, The Star. It's going to focus on the life and legacy of Jerry Jones. It's going to be released in 2026. You're about to get a whole lot of Jerry Jones, incidentally, because Netflix is doing a 10-part series on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and so I want to talk about that. But what else do we need to know here, Don? What are the important details? The union must feel rudderless. Its players must be furious that you guys continue to embarrass them. Players have traditionally, I can't remember a time that football players didn't have a problem with the head of this union. All of them have been problematic to the players. How much worse is it now in terms of the union being unified on really being embarrassed by what you've reported, you and Pablo have reported recently?
Oh, that's a great question. It's clearly the worst crisis in the union's 68-year history. Dominique Foxworth puts it quite nicely, I think. Well, he said basically this has woken everybody up and has gotten a pretty traditionally apathetic rank and file, not just embarrassed, but also wanting to fix it. And it remains to be seen whether they rise to that challenge. They have to find an interim executive director. I believe they'll do that by the end of this week. But they have to find a permanent executive director, which they will likely do after the Super Bowl. And that choice is really, really important. Look, no ex-player, Dominique Foxworth applied, Matt Schaub applied for this job when Lloyd Howe got it, Kellen Winslow Sr., the Hall of Famer. None of those guys even got a real serious look. And Lloyd Howe, formerly of Booz Allen, with this massive fraud investigation ongoing when they looked at him. He's one of the 2 finalists. The other is a SAG-AFTRA guy named David White. And none of those former players do. As we know, Gene Upshaw was the last former player to lead the union. And he was a pretty tough guy across the table with those NFL owners. They respected him.
That's the last time I remember this union having leadership that it felt like it could trust. It's been nothing but mistrust since then.
That's right. That's fair. And D. Smith, we did a profile of DeMaurice Smith a few years ago. He's got a book coming out that apparently trashes me and says that I'm in the hip pocket of NFL owners, which is one of the more absurd things you could say about me. But D. Smith, we did a profile. The NFL owners looked at D as somebody that they were happy was in that position. They felt they had rolled him in not 1, but 2 CBAs in 2011 and 2020. And the next CBA is still 5 years away, but it's going to get here very, very quickly. And whoever the players do decide to elevate and choose for the next job has to be somebody who can be equal to the NFL owners that they face in the next CBA.
Don, you've done some great reporting over the years on Jerry Jones, and I'm wondering what your take is when Kevin Clark says, when I look at Jerry Jones, I think of one thing. If the football gods came down and said, Jerry, you get to win the next 3 Super Bowls, but the catch is you can't do a press conference. He looks at the football gods and says, no deal.
I saw that Kevin said that. I don't agree with that. Let me tell you why. because Jerry wants the next Super Bowl in such a bad way. He would write a massive check for it because it shows that he as general manager can win a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson. And so when he says 3, he wants to win the next one. I actually think Jerry would give up that post-game press conference that he loves to do all the time before the camera to win 1, not 3. I think he'll win 1, and then he would like to go back to all of the press conferences and all of the sitting in front of cameras that he just loves to do. But he really desperately, this is part of his legacy. It's hardwired to that. He wants to win the next one really, really bad. And I think even Jerry would give up being a showman and being out front if he could get that next Super Bowl.
Do you agree with Zaz when he says he does all of the contracts protracted and caves and gives all the guys money because it's all entertainment and he just wants to be in the news?
It's just the only explanation I can gather, Don, when he could have paid these guys, like last year and saved money.
No question. I do. Zaz, I agree with you. By the way, I heard what you said earlier. Zaz, I respect you. Okay, even though you're wearing the Goldilocks.
No,
what? What is that?
What hair
is
is
that?
what? What is what?
You're talking about his new beard?
Yeah, I'm a grown-up, so I have a beard now, Don.
Oh, got it. Okay. Anyway, I respect you, Zaz. You're absolutely right. Jerry doesn't mind the extra, few million as long as he can be dominating the conversation when training camp opens. We've seen it year after year. It's part of the formula. Jerry doesn't mind to pay a few extra $1 million to these guys as long as he can dominate the conversation.
We know you have to go. We appreciate the time. Last question on your way out. Who is more famous in South Florida? Pulitzer Prize winner Don Van Natta or two-time broadcasting champion Jonathan Zaslow?
Well, Jonathan Zaslow, without a doubt.
Wow.
No question.
Respect,
no
Don.
So
Respect.
Zaz,
Respect to
Zaz,
you.
all the way.
You've got
all
nice
the way,
teeth.
no doubt.
Wow.
Thank you.
What's going on there?
Okay, what is that? What is that? What is
Put it on the
that?
poll.
What's going on there?
I'm just saying. I mean, those teeth are very
You're
nice.
you're going to investigate the investigator?
Yep.
Are you making an
Swinging
accusation?
a
Hold
light
on
of
a second. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Hold on.
Please don't find the receipts for my teeth.
Hold
okay?
on,
Let's not look for them.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You good?
Big teeth.
Whoa!
No, that's not right. That is not right what you just did.
They're
to
nice,
that man.
though.
That's
Spectacular.
that was rude. Rude.
Who's your guy?
Get him. Let him go. He had a heart.
And do they talk a lot about Trump?
That's not cool what you just did. Not cool. You know what? Hold on a second.
Because Dan has his dentist that he likes a lot.
We've got a penalty, 5 minutes. Major asshole.
Goodbye, Don. Thank you for being on with us.
Not you, him.
We love you, Don.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
As soon as you said that, I saw that poor man, like his upper lip moved to cover his teeth because of whatever shame he had about what you just did to him.
They're real and they're spectacular.
He's
still
in the
here,
Zoom.
like
He's still
looking
laughing.
at him. Like, I don't like this at all.
Well, because that was not
It was
nice.
uncalled for. It was uncalled for.
Ridiculous.
What a way to... the man has been nice enough to come and be on the show with us. He's a wildly respected person. I've loved his work for 30 years.
I have a lot of confidence now because of him.
He's super nice to us. He makes time for us. And Mike does that? Like, that's reprehensible.
What a dick. What a schmeckle.
He's worse than Dick Sampson.
Man, now we got Boban coming up. This is a fun show.
Boban is joining us from where? Because I'm a little bit worried. I'm worried about the connections. I'm worried about how foreign. I was told that their time zones. Where's he joining us from? Like a movie set somewhere?
I would assume that he's doing press, so I'm gonna guess he's in New York.
Starting a sentence with "I'm worried about how foreign" probably isn't the way you want to go, though.
Okay, times. I was worried about time.
That was a play on
zones.
for me, Dan. Don't worry. Play on.
Thank you, Tone. I appreciate
Well, you know what was
that.
not a play on? What Mike did.
That's
Not a play on. That's stop play right there.
Well, we used to have, you know what I miss? I miss the dead fish. Can we do this here at Meadowlark Media? Can we build a contraption that when a dead fish comes and does what happens there, that a dead fish falls from the sky and falls on the table?
I'm a little bit embarrassed because Don Van Natta, as everybody knows, is a mensch. And I didn't like how Mike Ryan treated him at the end there, especially after he said nice things about me.
Sideswiped him at the end. I didn't like that.
It was just unbelievable. And so, anyways, let's move on to other subjects and see if we could do something in the way of a palate cleanser here before Boban joins us, because I am excited about this. You guys seem to be too. Congratulations to Pablo Torre for being one of the top 100 podcasts of all time. It should have been number one among all of the podcasts ever made.
You mean Good Hang with Amy Poehler that came out in March shouldn't have been on this list?
It's made an indelible mark.
Really, really good podcast, though. It is great.
Podcast called My Dad Wrote a Porno is on there.
Top 100? Did you find any that would pass for fake on the
That would
list?
have been one.
Did you have any there that the top 100 podcasts of all time that someone out there would say that's not a real podcast, and then the rebuttal could be, nope, it's one of the top 100 of all time. You haven't heard of it. You're the idiot, not the podcast. That's you if you haven't heard of it. You think that's a fake name? You're a fool. There have to be some podcast name. I mean, the tennis podcast, I can't believe that's a real thing. Why isn't the hockey show on there?
Good point.
Who's on the tennis podcast? Who's on it? Why is that? Why is the tennis podcast, who took no time whatsoever to think of a name, couldn't even be bothered? How is that one of the top 100 podcasts of all time if they couldn't even be bothered to think of a name?
I'm trying to find these hosts.
You guys know nothing about the tennis podcast. Let it be known for the audience, we are all just biding time here, filibustering, waiting for Jordan's boyfriend to be allowed to talk to the media by Jordan.
2 p.m.
I'm sorry I called her Jordan. I will learn her name as more news develops. Welcome back, Michael. Do you feel bad about what you did to Don Van Natta there? Because you should. You should feel guilt. You should feel remorse. And these are things that we do privately on our own or publicly when people are not around. We don't do it when their teeth are in our face and they might be insecure about something.
Look, I don't speak truth to power. I say opinions in the video games.
Wow, I like.
Boban surprised me in the John Wick movies. I was not expecting to have, and this is the thing about Boban. Like, I wonder how he feels about this because he's got a sense of humor about it. But this is a human being who can dunk, I believe, without leaving the floor. There still aren't very many of those. And he is lovable, and a lot of people really like his personality. He is willing to make fun of himself, and he's become an action star that was legitimately menacing and fluid when I saw him in the John Wick movies. Like, I could not believe, I know he's an athlete, but that's a whole different thing to be like a stuntman and to do choreography.
Meaning he didn't look awkward.
Never mind awkward. He looked like somebody that you wouldn't be wanting to fight in a library, like under any means. Like, he looked like somebody who was a killer.
8711 knows how to do action.
I mean,
Quite
yes,
well.
yeah, but he knew how to do action, and I don't know how easy it is to do. So he's here to talk now about Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, Happy Gilmore 2. I'm excited.
Oh, it's gonna be so funny.
Yes, that is going to be very funny. We look forward to finding out.
Bad Bunny's in it too. You
how
know I'm
funny.
in.
Well,
Bad Bunny.
I want to
Conejo
hear.
Malo.
I want to hear all about these things. Boban, it's nice to see you, sir. Thank you for making time for us.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for inviting me.
So just let's start with John Wick. How hard was any of that to do, and was it uncomfortable for you to have to learn how to do all of that, or were you immediately receptive?
No, they was so perfect with me. Like they give me classes like 7 days. I'm a little bit blurry, but I think my camera, something wrong with my camera.
You look great.
Sorry
Don't worry about it.
Sorry for that. And I think we were like same like you practice for the game, same like practice for the basketball. It's like there, they work with you. They make the best person of yourself. Like try to all your strength, be the best you can to do it, to be like to be best person yourself. They help me with all moves, with all boxing, with all like all hits, all fake, like all book hits, all like everything what is going with that. It's like it was so amazing, and it's so perfect too. I can learn from the best, and not just like fighting. I think for acting too, and we just starting. By the way, we just starting. This is one of the many.
This won't be surprising, I suppose, as a question, and I don't even know if it's anything other than awe. But I simply can't believe how large your hands are. Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that.
They know.
How many hours of training? Take us through the rigor of what you had to do to be an action star fighting Keanu Reeves and John Wick.
They say, you want to come? We learn how you to fight. And it was like 7 days. We come to New York. It was conversation between us. They want to make like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bruce Lee. Same of tough because he's big foot, he's big hands, and like obviously I'm my big foot, my big hands, and it's of course one of the best action movie like on the world. I can say that. And it was like good choice and opening scene, and we practiced. It was practice in New York before shooting 7 days. 7 days before shooting, 45 minutes. They work great job. They like basically do great job with me, so I can learn all these tricks, all these moves, and they can make to look really good on camera. But by the way, when you finish this shooting, I watch a small scene. They come out. Somebody tagged me. I don't know how, but they have that. Like when somebody tag you on Instagram to say, "Oh, this guy is not bad." And I look at my moves. I was in Philadelphia 76ers that time. I was in locker room next to Tobias, and I like, hey, Toby, look at this. I don't look bad at all. And I didn't expect they'll be like that, but they might come out better than I really expected, to be honest. And that time I figured out it was, I love it. I love cameras. I like to be around. It was so late from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. It was in New York time. It was really like exhaust, but it's not just me. It's everybody. It's everybody there. It's everybody working hard. It's not just like one person, Keanu, producer, only one camera. It's basically everybody there. You have like 20 people already awake and watching you and make sure you do the best you can. And of course, stunt people.
So, Boban, in the next NBA season, whenever you were playing a game, were guys on other teams telling you, "Yo, you were awesome in John Wick"?
I was like, I remember the day. I remember the day when it was like we play against Lakers and LeBron coming like downhill and I make foul, and I tell referee, that's not a foul. And he turned to me and say, "Hey, Bobby, this is not John Wick."
Boban, I'm curious if you always had a passion for movies. Some people of your stature, they just kind of find their way into it and don't necessarily take the kind of natural liking that you seem to have for movies. So I wonder if growing up this was a goal of yours, that you loved movies and wanted to be in them.
No, I like the movies. I like the movies. Movies. It's always nice to be there. Of course, watching Shaquille O'Neal and all what he do, like he's my role model, and I watch him how he doing, what he do, how he provide everything, what he touch, basically he make gold, and this is like my goal for me too, like be the most movie I can, be the of course maybe one day be the TV host, you never know, and of course maybe I'll be DJ, basically I work on my DJ skills, and this is like my goal to be almost like him. Nobody can reach him, but I try a little bit small part of that, and when I watched him that time I was like, maybe I can try, but it never was really true. I didn't never believe in that till really didn't step on a couple commercials, go there, film the movie, saw how that look. I was like, man, I love this. I'm super excited for this. I'm like big fan, and now they call me actor. I don't know why.
Well, they call you actor because you fought in John Wick. You fought John Wick. You're in the upcoming series Robin Hood on MGM Plus, and then we're all excited this weekend to see him in Happy Gilmore 2. It's only on Netflix. It begins tomorrow on Netflix.
Yes, 25th. Yeah.
So how many opportunities and what are the most interesting opportunities, offers that you got when people realized, oh, this person can be in the movies, we can have some fun with this, and he wants to do it? What are the opportunities that came your way that were the most exciting?
But this is like how you say, we're doing right now Robin Hood, what is super exciting. That's why I couldn't go on premiere. They're shooting here in Serbia, what I have lucky to be in my country, basically, not really my city, but 30 minutes driving, what is really close by. And they'll be same. They'll look like they'll be amazing because I'm there. No, they'll look like they'll be a great show, they'll be a good TV show, and looking forward to see that. Happy Gilmore 2 come out like tomorrow. But super exciting. Have so much fun.
This is great though, Boban. You look just like the original Happy Gilmore character. They did the makeup.
Mr. Larson, Richard Keel.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
They made you look like Jaws from the 007 movies. Did you know what he looked like? You saw the original?
Yes, of course I saw original. I saw the movie, and I think they really did a great job with that, matching me with him, and that was a great idea. It was a great idea. It was fun. The movie is amazing. So much famous people in that movie. Of course, Adam Sandler, like one of the best. Bad Bunny, and look, I look same like my dad.
Dan, what's the matter with you? You don't think Boban had seen Happy Gilmore? What's wrong with you, man?
I'm sorry. Sometimes I ask dumb questions.
So, can you tell us like anything about this character? Like, do you have a nail in your head? What can you tell us about this character?
To be honest, I don't know what I can tell, but only what I know, I don't have nail in my head. This is the only what I cannot tell. This is what you guys don't know. I don't know how far I can describe
No spoilers.
Okay,
I respect that.
Hey, you guys watching tomorrow, but I don't have nail in my head, and it's super exciting to be there. We have, of course, Adam and Bad Bunny. We did them mostly shooting with them, and it was like super cool. They helped me with everything. It was like, I don't know if I can say more, but this is it. And I know I hope so.
Oh, then he's getting punished. Look, there's someone off camera telling him he's got to stop talking.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna ask you a question that has nothing to do with the movie. How was being with Bad Bunny?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I met him. I met him on his show. He was in Dallas, and I met him in basically when I work out in Portland. We have the game I work out before something happened to be in the same time in the weight room, only me and him. That's why we have a small conversation there. And one more time in Dallas, and this is like fourth time in when they do makeup and everything. That's why we did makeup together. That's my hair, what they build on my hair, and it was super exciting because they need some time to do that.
Boban,
on the planet.
Boban, I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah,
I love you guys. I love you guys too. But I saw a little bit like a picture late here, but I think it's not because of me. Maybe yes.
No, you're good.
you're a pro.
You look great, buddy.
Boban,
I don't know about that. Look great.
All right. Your technology is great.
I will take that.
Boban, I think you said that you hadn't seen the movie yet. Like, do you have a plan when you're going to sit down? Who you're going to watch the movie with?
Tomorrow. My family right now in Puerto Rico. There was the fun part because they went to Puerto Rico on vacation, and I'm here to do something, and they have opportunity to see Bad Bunny concert, and I did a movie with him. That was like fun fact, and I think I'll watch this movie with my friends and family, but family, mom and dad, and because my wife and my kids in Puerto Rico right now.
So what sounds better to you, coming back to the NBA and winning an NBA championship or winning an Academy Award?
Ooh, look, I'm a basketball player. I always go first. Come to NBA, win championship. This is like every goal for every basketball player when I come to play basketball. If not basketball game, I will never have opportunity to be on in movie, TV show, or commercials, or like you name it. From you guys.
Okay, well, so when you think of the things that have happened in your life and how improbable they are that you would get to some of these things, when you say, what is the most ridiculous situation I have found myself in because somebody wants to meet me or somebody wants to spend time with me, how did I get from here to being in the presence of this person outside of the NBA?
Oof. Great question. I ask that every time myself. Because I really come from 3,000 people city. It's basically village here in Serbia. People in Serbia doesn't know where is that city. And I come here, and every time I ask from that time when I start to play basketball, every time I ask myself, stay in front of all these players, play with all these players, be like around all these people like who I met, who have opportunity to have blessed to be around. I every time ask that my question, like how it's happened. chase your dreams, and this is like one of my dreams. Basically, I'm living every day my dream. I never thought they'll be like that, but this is like my dream. I hope so I respond on that question really good, because I didn't have.
Yes, you heard it, but you heard it very well, and you answered it very well, but you didn't actually answer it. Like, because you didn't.
Okay, tell me. Help me to answer what you think.
What one person have you found yourself around, or situation where you're like, how the hell did I get here? Do you know how much the odds are against me being in this situation?
I know. Look at this. John Wick, Keanu Reeves, sitting there. We practice the scene. He say, Ernest, it's almost time. You know, like he said that. And I was like, flashback, I know the lines, I know everything. And I was like, huh? And I can basically flashback from the Matrix, what I watched when I was like, really like when I was the kid, not like kid, but when I was the younger. And I watching, I was like, is this really happen? Like I watch around and like, I was like, that's really true. That's basically one of the many, but mostly like what I really remember, because it was like really, I couldn't believe.
Boban, so you've been in a couple of Adam Sandler movies now. Happy Gilmore 2. You were also in Hustle. Right, great movie. So are you now like an Adam Sandler guy? Or because his friends are in like all of his movies?
No, he's my best friend right now. He's my best friend. He's the best. He like really like make people like when they go there film, they make them to look special. They make them to feel special, and he's one of the best to do that. Like you go there to shooting, it's not job. It's like basically pleasure, fun. You always learn something new. You always find something new. They always make you have a smile on the face, and it's like this is who he is. Like they're like one of the best person who I ever met.
Boban, you came up through the national team ranks with Jokic, and he's misunderstood, I think, by many. Some on this show would agree he's probably the most unstoppable player in NBA history, yet people talk about his passion for the game, and he doesn't actually seem like he really enjoys it. Does he enjoy basketball, and why are his arms always bleeding?
Well, I know him. We played together. We played together in Mega Vizura. And that time he was 18, and that time I was star. Now he changed. Now he changed, and we played together. He always played great. He always had passion for basketball. This is like who he is. Like, you know, he love what he loved to do, and I think he really enjoy. Of course, everybody have like some better day. Don't want to be like on their job, but you know, job is job, and he's one of the best in that working that job. They mean like we like expect from him every time to provide, and he always provide. Maybe he don't have that always like that smile what we expect every time to enjoy, but he really provide every time with numbers, with helping teams to win all this stuff what they do, like all this championship, all these MVPs. What he done, it's like, you know, I don't talk about just NBA. I talk about like when he's best in Europe too. What he's like tremendous player, and I think I agree with you. One of the unstoppable player in NBA, or maybe like not maybe it's in the world too.
Happy Gilmore 2, only on Netflix tomorrow. People have no earthly idea what it is to walk around the world at your size. So among the inconveniences, whether it's can you find a hotel shower that works for you? Can you find a bed in a hotel that works for you? What would you say is the greatest daily inconvenience of being as large as you are?
You know, like car cannot fit. Like this is like so much like not too much cars so I can really like go there and say, hey, this is a car what I like. No, I go first to try. Same like you try t-shirt, you try pants. That's how I try the car. Like not like trying how they drive. It's about trying how they fit. You know, like, okay, I can drive, not drive. My head it's like to the roof or not my head to the roof. Can I like my knees be under the steering wheel or no? Can I basically fit by my shoulders in the car? Everything matching. Or because I have kids, I have any space on the back or like behind my seat or no? That's like mostly like for me things. And same like for the bed. You know, going hotel. Like not every hotel have like the large size, like big size, whatever how they call like big size bed, king size. and I'm used to sleep like that. And if my leg don't hang out of the bed, I couldn't sleep good. Like basically, like even I have in my house like bed like my size, but I still rolling down till like my legs don't hang. It's like
that's how you sleep now.
Yeah, that's all my life. Like I doesn't know for nothing else. That's how I choose this. This how I'm built, and that's how I did.
I can tell that our entire show wants to be friends with you and wants to talk to you for hours, but he has to go. We are excited to see him this weekend in Happy Gilmore 2. It is only on Netflix tomorrow. Nice seeing you, sir. Thank you for making time for us.
Man. Appreciate it, guys. Big heart like this. My heart.
Oh,
this is my
bigger
heart.
Bigger heart.
Yes, Dan. There you go. Good
Yes.
Put the elbows together, Dan. There you go.
Mine's
Come
no
on.
good.
There you go.
Mine's no good.
Hey, let's go. No, this, like this.
Let's all do it.
Not as
Very good.
flexible.
I can't touch my elbow.
Not as
I'm doing it
Oh, like
really
this.
good.
Yeah, like this.
Real reach.
Yeah, not
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, Boban.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my God, he told me good job.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I have not seen our show swoon and fall in love with somebody like that in a minute. It's been a second since a guest came on here, and there was such a mutual fawning all over each other. You guys are still in the glow. You guys are post-coital. I'm looking at you
What
guys.
a guy.
And you guys fell in love all over again as if it was the first time.
You're talking about Dave Dameshek in the Zoom right now?
I make foul.
I am not talking about Dave Dameshek in the Zoom, who no one can see but you right now. No, that's not what I was talking about.
I'm swooning.
I was talking about Boban
A little
and
schmaltzy in here, I gotta be honest.
Car cannot fit.
I was talking about Boban and how he made us. I had never thought of how hard it must be for him to drive a car.
I'm a basketball player.
It has to be very hard. Like, what kind of car? What car is he driving that someone is going to be able to sit behind him in that car if he
Car
presses?
cannot fit.
I mean, you didn't know that he could watch movies where he was from too, so there was that.
Ooh.
That's not true, actually. I got caught up in the air and I got distracted.
Have you seen the first one?
Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
I'm going on vacation because I am not getting I am so bad the last couple of days, and I just needed a transition. And so I said, have you seen what Jaws 007 looks like? Because I didn't know the name of the character.
I'm from Serbia, not Moon.
Yes.
Had you ever heard of Adam Sandler?
So Dave Dameshek, the aforementioned Dave Dameshek, I will ask you in a couple of weeks and now really to support our new football show with Dave. And every time we ask you to support something, you support it. I saw that Echoes climbed right up the charts as soon as Jessica comes on here. And the 30 for 30 that we did with Adam McKay, Chasing Basketball Heaven, that released yesterday, shot right up because you guys remain the most loyal and supportive audience that there is. Just a giant. You change everything. And so Dameshek is our new football show, and that will be debuting next month. And so that show's name, are we willing to unveil the show name? Is that something that we could put out there now before we've actually released it? We will ask you at the appropriate time to announce our new football show.
The name of the football show we'll announce it is Football America, which I honestly could not believe was not taken. Really? Yeah, it was available.
What?
Yeah, Football America. Yeah.
That can't be true. Football America. Are you saying it with an accent?
Piet America. No, maybe Football America was probably taken, but Football America is there for the taking. So yeah, that's
shocking.
Yeah. Right. Great name.
No one. We got Football America. That's ours. We got all of Football America.
I'm sure there are internet sleuths that'll find out that there's another one. Right, but I was in complete and utter shock that it was just there for the taking. Football America.
We just lost Dave, but he will be back shortly.
No, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
And
I'm still swooning.
Going back to well, he was probably scared off by all of our behavior there. But going back to what we were talking about, how do you imagine? I wish we had more time to ask him this. When Boban tries to use a hotel shower, like how is that going in a normal? Like the hotel showers, how is the water not going up, or does he have to unscrew something?
He needs the one where you could take off the hose. And
needs
just
one of
use
those.
It. Yeah.
Or it has to be, what is it? What is the one called that they put on the ceiling? Yeah, rainfall.
An overhead?
I don't know how to. I don't know. I remember there's a commercial for General Insurance that Shaq's in where he's looking over the shower curtain and you can see that the shower head is like at his nipple. Like he's standing over in a normal human shower. These people are too big in order to shower normally.
I'm sure texting becomes a laborious affair. Because their Boban's hands, can you imagine him trying to text? I can't. That is horrible.
I once saw Taco Fall have to try to get into an elevator, and in order to do so on UCF's campus, he had to sit down and slide himself into the elevator and just basically huddle his knees together until he could then have the elevator door open, spread out his legs, and then stand up.
Not only is it sad, Chris, I was getting ready to ask him an assortment of questions about like whatever kind of pain his body is in, but I'm like, I'm not going to ruin how nice this feels because playing basketball at that size, I can't imagine daily. Andre the Giant was in a great deal of pain, and so he became an alcoholic, and then he's in a French hotel drinking so much that when he passes out in the lobby, they have to throw a sheet over him, and he becomes a sofa and people used him as a sofa.
He used to poop in the bathtub. True story. Because he's big. The giant. Andre.
That's how he got his name.
They make foul.
He used to poop in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I know it's true.
Have you ever tried to poop in a European toilet? Even for us 6 foot and over, it's tight.
I know that it's true. The documentary, I think Bill Simmons did it on Andre the Giant, was very good. But I would have ruined that interview if I'd asked him about pain.
Yeah, I'm glad. Boban, his joy was so infectious, and we were so happy to see him that a rarity happened. We got him away from grief eating.
Maybe the first time in show history that a guest has been so wonderful. I mean, look, you guys have been here longer than me, but I don't remember as a listener or a member of this show that someone has been so kind and gracious that Dan shied away from grief eating?
I can't believe you didn't ask him, what on you hurts? Yeah.
It wouldn't have been grief. It would have been pain eating, right? It wouldn't have been grief eating.
And you
tomato,
got there
tomato.
at the end. You got there at the end.
Well, okay, but I could have gotten there a clever way. You guys remind me when to unveil this question, okay? At the end of an interview that's otherwise going in all other directions. You guys tell me. I want you to write this down, and somebody at some point remind me when will be the funniest time to ask the question to end an interview that we are doing with, just out of nowhere, do you poop in the bathtub? Or have you ever pooped in the bathtub? Or whatever it is that would reveal the story of what happens when you're kind of in this kind of pain, that you can't walk through a normal life like every other normal human being, and so you have to poop in a bathtub because every toilet is too small for your ass, which I can't believe that that's not a joke that somebody has made at my expense at some point over the last 56 years. Dan, there is no toilet big enough for your ass.
What do you think the laboratories are? I know these team planes are a lot different.
You mean lavatories?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is unbelievable what's happening the last
laboratories
couple of
where
days.
Dexter used to
be. Sorry. Laboratories. Are they much larger for NBA teams? They gotta be, right? But
for me.
But there's only you can only make it so big. I know that they try to make the aisles a lot easier for NBA players, but can you imagine Boban trying to use the restroom on like a commercial airline?
I'm completely average size, like height, and I struggle in those things.
He flatly can't even get in.
Who were they making those for when they made them that small? Like, were people in when we?
It's barbaric.
The capitalists.
When the Wright brothers, okay, maybe, but when the Wright brothers started, and wherever it is, we got to the first bathroom in an airplane. Were they trying to save space, or were they building them for human beings who were much smaller than the fat ones and the giant ones we have today?
I don't know if the Wright brothers, when they first invented flight, were like, and one day people are going to. In these.
Maybe people were just smaller.
People were smaller, but that doesn't explain how the newer models keep replicating the small. The only thing that can explain it is capitalism.
I mean, you ever been in one of the showers on a cruise? It's impossible.
Tight. You guys didn't really answer my question, but I do think there's a good skit around the Wright brothers talking in that old-timey way you just did.
One day people are going to in this.
That's right. talking in the old-timey way of like, we'll develop flight and then we'll get to the point where we capitalize and do that so much commercially that you no longer fit in them in any way. We're going to give you a bag of pretzels and we're going to tell you to shit in a bucket in the back because we need all of those seats in order to get the $69 extra that we need for luggage and your internet.
And we'll make the fat ones buy 2.
There's a skit there. Figure out how to do the Wright brothers talking about flight in the future, because once I still say this as a shocking fact, and I get no reaction from anybody every time I say it. Do you know that they used to serve prime rib in first class, where they'd have it, and it's not coming back from a microwave. They've got somebody there with a prime rib like you would in a fine restaurant. People are smoking.
They were smoking. Smoking on an airplane is crazy.
People are smoking, and you're in first class, and the experience is so classy that there's someone up there shaving meat so you can eat it in the front and they can have a classy experience. Prime rib.
It's just amazing that there was a smoking section and a non-smoking section on a steel tube, as if, the smoke is going to stay away from the non-smoking section. You don't have to worry. You're in the non-smokers.
It was one of the things I missed from my childhood, Dan, from the early 90s and 2000s. I missed going into a restaurant.
You don't miss this.
And being in a smoking section. I miss that.
You don't miss that.
Of course I do. You weren't here for it, Dan. Very, very.
Smoking or non-smoking? Like just that question when you walk into a restaurant? It was a great list.
I mean, it's how Mrs. Doubtfire almost got away with it.
Would you go into smoking if you didn't want to wait? If there was a long wait for non-smoking, would you I'll take smoking?
I don't think we ever sat in smoking as a family ever.
I hate waiting for a table though.
Feel like he's got a couple cigarettes. That's not that bad.
It's gonna be commonplace the world over, and then we'll get the dude from the real world to oversee everything.
So you guys say that my grief eating soils all, and I am about to take a break here for a couple of minutes because I have been the last couple of days lost while it is that we're doing the show, and as happens often, this is a criticism I've been getting here now for many years, I will end up ruining the fun around here in some way. So yesterday, you guys, and I'm getting a little better of a governor on this, but I want to ask you guys a question because I thought there was a story that you guys might find interesting around the fun we were having about eating at a bar and eating right at the bar instead of having dinner at a table. And I wanted to get in some point with a story that is a little bit heartbreaking to me about what actually happened to change my entire viewpoint on what that is. But the story bums me out, and I thought I was going to ruin what we were doing here, and so I didn't tell the story. But I think it's a story you guys would want to hear. So just put it, as we go out here to Dameshek, I want you to guys put it in the file and remind me to tell the story at some point. Whatever the subject is, Dan didn't want to ruin the show, but here's this story.
Don't ruin the show story. Okay.
Yeah, but here's this story he wanted to tell that he thought might be interesting, but he didn't want to ruin the fun everybody was having, and then they'd get mad at him for being the grief eater.
And then we're going to have little cabins for everybody's suitcases, but then we're never going to expect everybody to bring a suitcase.
Dameshek, you fit right in. Your equipment doesn't work for 20 minutes, and you hold up the whole show by way of introduction, and we have to wait around for you. You'll be great at Meadowlark. We can't wait to have you on board here. Football America, we got your name nobody has. I hope your equipment works the next time you debut so I can celebrate you with the public in a way that feels good to everybody. But welcome aboard. We're happy to have you. Were you also surprised that the name Football America was available?
I was, and first of all, I think this fits perfectly with my agenda here, which is to keep the bar real nice and low. I think that to set the expectations as low as possible.
Congratulations!
And that's what I just did with my audio.
Big success so far.
I've achieved that. Let's move forward. Let's not live life in the rear view mirror, shall we?
Very well done. Dan would have stayed there. Keep it moving. Wow, he's a pro.
No, but I asked him a question he didn't answer, which will also make him fit right in. Were you as surprised as we were that name is still available?
Well, I think that Le Batard swooped in at the 11th hour and really saved it. Football America and Le Batard, if I'm not mistaken, you suggested the exclamation point, and that's really what sells it. I think that's what really takes it up to 11.
Football America.
Right. That's what I am.
Coming
And
from
it's
you,
the same.
Dan, wow.
I'm swooning, just as I am swooning to be here with you now. I am swooning also for the approaching football season.
Well,
And I think all football Americans are, right?
Well, he's a television writer and podcaster who wrote for Jimmy Kimmel, but I think we're on to something there. I think we need to say the name of the podcast every time in a way that moves around the fact that somebody else might have had this name. So say it differently. Football America.
Football America. And I don't know if you already caught on. He knows what he's going to call his listening audience. Football Americans. That's tremendous. It's like Hulkamaniacs.
It is the unifying force of our society right now, for better or worse. It's the one thing that we can all rally around and agree on. Football Sundays, right?
Can I go around the room here then, please, and have you each say it differently and see if Dameshek prefers any of the different ways that you guys pronounce it? Because I want to learn how it is that I will say the name of Metal Arc's new football show now that we are
a chorus of just Football Americas. All right, let's do this real quick.
Regional accents and such, right?
Yeah. But we all have the same accent down here.
Yeah, but I also want the exclamation point in there. So Tony, do you want to go first, or who wants to go first?
Football America.
See, I like that one.
Yeah, Football America.
Football America. Football America.
That go the way you want it?
Football.
That's great, right?
America.
All right. I mean, that was a good, no bad attempts there, I guess. We're going to break some eggs as we attempt to make this omelet there. I wonder if anybody can do the Pittsburgh version of it, though. Football America doesn't really lend itself to the Yinzer accent. Football America, Yins. Dude, Yins hear about Justin Fields. Dude got hurt up in Jersey already, dude. We got Aaron Rodgers there, so we ain't worried about that anymore.
I'm sorry. Were you patronizing us? You didn't like any of our efforts?
Yeah,
there?
sure. We can't do Pittsburgh. We're in Miami.
I'm sorry that you can't translate what Tony said. Football America.
I love the America more than I loved whoever it was. Was that Mike who just did the mid-century guy?
Yeah.
Look here, fellas. Look here, Buster. It says Football America. Gonna be the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and so on.
This is what we need. We need Dameshek and Mike Ryan to do the Wright brothers. You don't have to do it now.
Oh, please
You
stop.
don't have to do it now. You don't have to
No, stop. Terrible idea.
You don't have to do
We'll
it
do
right
it when
now.
you're on vacation. Just trust us.
Okay.
Flap your wings and let's get up in the sky. ASAP, fella.
You don't think he'll be good at this?
Please stop.
Go ahead.
I'm asking
All right.
you.
Do you have
Man
a
to
better
man.
idea? Do you have
Yes,
a better
I do.
idea?
I do.
Do you have
Because,
a better one?
Yeah. Well, interview him. That would be one of my ideas. Number 2 would be going through some of the new looks in the NFL, because if you follow Dave, and Dave is a talent, he used to have a great show on NFL Network. He did a segment in which I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole would be the segment, but then he would get out a literal 10-foot pole and make guests touch him. It's just a classic idea. But he and I are one and the same in that we're both obsessed with football fits. Really, uniforms throughout all sports, but I would throw to you in the audience, all the football Americans out there, that the NFL is in desperate need of a uniform czar, and it should be Dave, because he is an expert. And one of the things that really grinds my gears, Dan, is when uniform looks go out there and you have a bad color clash, like you got Steelers, Packers, and it's just a nightmare because they're both wearing gold. It's just an assault on your eyes. A good color clash makes for the viewing experience. Dave, briefly, tell all the football Americans out there about your passion for this.
Well, it's where we fell in love, Mike, maybe a half decade or more ago, was that unified you and me is, to your eye, think about the Dolphins versus Washington in those 2 Super Bowls in 7 and then 17. It doesn't make any sense. Maroon and gold, the aqua and orange. It shouldn't make sense to your eyes, but you love it. It's a great look. I think that's the best one. My ongoing concern, as I'm talking with some Miami people, is, and I've been bellyaching about this since the day that they did a new mascot or a new look, a new logo for the Dolphins, is in the age where we're wringing our hands, we're so worried about head injuries and otherwise, we took the helmet off the Dolphin. It makes no sense. Why does that guy out there playing football without a helmet on? I don't know what message we're trying to send. And what's further, I'm pretty loose on the subject with it too, because that Dolphin, the old Miami Dolphins logo, he had the white helmet on with the orange M on the side of it. So by definition, he's not on the Miami Dolphins. He's on some team that wears an orange M on the side of the hat. What team was that Dolphin on? That's how loose they were with bringing in. That's how they were so anxious to bring sea creatures into the experience. They're like, we don't even care if he's on our team.
Dan, we didn't all miss it. There were football Americans out there that seized on it, and now their new logo doesn't make any sense at all because it's a dolphin swimming in the water, but the sun is still behind it. Before, you had a leaping dolphin, and you can understand how the sun is in the picture. But what are you, shooting this dolphin from beneath? How is the sun in the frame? It makes no sense.
I've never thought about this.
Commish Goodell, we're so worried about the player safety. Are you? Doesn't look like it.
He's not wrong about this.
I'm telling you, he should be uniforms.
The opposite. He's very right.
How did I not notice this? It's the local team. How did all the local journalists get beat on this giant story that the Dolphins have hypocrisy on their helmet by not having a dolphin with a helmet anymore? That the dolphin actually should now have one of those giant Lego helmets that they've got, right?
Well, listen, Pablo Torre, I'm not here to diminish him. He's doing great work, but if he ever takes a day or a week off, Dameshek's here with the investigative reporting as well. Here's another one, logo specific. The other one that fascinates me with alongside the Dolphins, their 70s rival, the Raiders. Take a good look at the Raiders logo. First of all, much like you remember the 70s Pittsburgh Pirates logo, same thing. A Raider is a pirate. They're derivations of the same. And what fascinates me about both those cats is that they're pirates, but before they go out for a day of pillaging, they both give themselves a clean shave. I like that. I think that's a bold move. They're clean-shaven guys. But look close at the Raiders logo there. He's got the eye patch. Everybody knows that. Take a closer look. His good eye is closed. What's the message? Really? What? It's subversive in a way. He's got his eye closed? Why?
How have I not noticed that
You're
before?
not a uniform-loving football American.
Why doesn't he have a mustache? Why doesn't he at least have a mustache? But I mean, more disconcerting is he's out there on the gridiron. It's live out there, as the players will tell you. Like, it's dangerous stuff. He should have his one good eye open at least.
Well, let's run through some of the new looks. Some of these are throwback types of looks. You're a Steelers guy. The Steelers unveiled this look, harkening back to the old days at the 75th anniversary of the NFL. They dabbled in this look before, but here's my biggest issue with this look here, Dave. They decided that they're going to trot this look out against the Packers. The Packers are going to be. There's going to be so much yellow on the field.
That can't be right. That'll be confusing, will it not?
It's not going to be good, and Mike, you're 100% right. See, this is the attention to detail that few have, you and me. That's why we connect on this. What are they thinking? Who you're playing when you're going to wear the throwback is an essential ingredient to making it work. This is a terrible idea to unveil those against the gold-hatted Packers, as you say. It's a terrible get-up to begin with. It's D- among all the Steelers throwbacks they're kind of like the Star Wars franchise. You only really need to see the top two of them. After that, they're all garbage, and this one belongs in the garbage. But it's going to be even worse out there against the Packers, who themselves have now painted their modern hats to look like 1920s leather hats. I'm on the fence about whether or not I think that's good. I dare say I am not keen on it. The one I did like, ironically, because the Browns are usually pretty laughable, but they now finally have done the right thing. This is a team named Brown, and their hats are orange. It's very confusing. Now they have brown hats, though, at least as a throwback or as an alternate getup to wear out there at some point in 2025.
Dave, why is Pittsburgh the only city where all of its sports teams share the same colors? I like how they do that.
I think it's the best. If you're a fashionista, it's limiting because, if you're like from Boston, one day you might want to go navy and red, and the next you might want to go Kelly green and white, depending on what event you're heading out to. But yes, I think it's the coolest thing in all of sports, and I think it's why it's important to dorks like me when Terry Bradshaw or Ben Roethlisberger or Mario Lemieux or Sidney Crosby or Roberto Clemente or Willie Stargell go their whole career in just that uniform. I think it makes it resonate all the more that those guys are playing for Pittsburgh teams and only for Pittsburgh teams. More than it matters, we obsess about that in Pittsburgh, about TJ Watt can only be a one helmet guy.
Let's move on to the next look in the NFL. This is not a throwback. This is a new alternate look. We're talking alternate jersey, alternate shell. The most shocking thing about this New Orleans Saints look here is the fact that Brandon Cooks is yet again a New Orleans Saint. Had no idea. Very strange career for the man.
Well, very strange to begin with in life that I took this issue to Brandon directly, and I asked him about a number of years ago. I understand that when it was time to name you, that you want to be distinctive. Your child, your progeny, let's give him a name that's going to be unique as he goes out into the world. But really, it created a headache for poor Brandon because his name is Brandon, but the O has been replaced with an I. So now that has added on untold minutes, nay hours, to his life of explaining, no, it's not the O. It's not about Brandon, but not with an O, with an I. And then when he's filling things out, he always has to do that. And maybe that's only 4 seconds every conversation, but as it goes along over the course of a lifetime, that's probably 20 minutes. He's never going to get back.
Just so that people understand that it's not going to just all be fun and jokes, though there will be fun and jokes. Football America, because of the man doing it, is also going to have a startling amount of good information because this man, if you followed his work over the years, combines the nutrients with the light. So when I tell you that Brandon Cooks infuriates me because I always bet his overs because all he's got to do is catch one ball, and he won't do that for me all the time. Why am I an idiot for betting the over on Mo Alley Cox, one catch over 8.5 yards, and Brandon Cooks, just get me like 24.5 yards? Surely you'll do that by catching the ball once because you're faster than everybody.
Well, listen, I'm not here to knock that strategy. I love treating the 60 minutes of football and you're just looking for one thing. My favorite version of what you're getting at, Le Batard, is the QB scramble bet. I'm not talking about if Lamar Jackson is the quarterback. I'm talking about the statue back there.
Yeah, Eli Manning, Tua, more than half a yard.
And
then you lose it when they start kneeling at the end of the game. You get him, he runs for 1 yard, and then they go in victory formation. At the end of the game, he's got -1 yard.
Right, betting on the goal and a half, the puck line, because that's almost always in play. You can watch the entire game, and then in the last minute, it's decided by an empty netter or not, and that's a fun thing. This football-specific version of that is, Sam Darnold or otherwise, 9.5 rushing yards, and they can get that in one run. Brock Purdy, 11.5 or whatever. You think like, that it happens in one play and then you're satiated, but then you have to turn back on the game, much like you have to do to see if they hit the empty netter to see if he's going to kneel his way out of that. Yeah, that's intriguing betting. I love it.
Let's go to a look that received universal praise because Washington in a tricky spot. Everyone loved the uniforms except for that one little pesky helmet thing, and they changed their name to the Commanders. How do they tap into their history without offending? The Commanders came up with this sweet alternate look that taps into their heritage with that classic majority home look that the Washington football team went with for so many decades.
Well, as I understand it, breaking news, some people have called for the Commander's name to go away. And that I don't know if you guys follow the news. But yeah, I heard that somebody is upset about that. Either way, the old name, obviously offensive to a percentage of society. The new name should be offensive to even more football Americans. They're in our nation's capital, you understand, and they're the commies. They're the commies? They leaned right into doing that. This is not as bad, though, as the hockey team up there in Washington, D.C., that they're now back to wearing the appropriate colors. But for like 20 years or so, again, this is our nation's hockey team. And they call themselves the Capitals. So they're embracing it. And they skated out there for a long time in turquoise, black, and gold. What the hell is the message of that? People should have just booed and thrown stuff on the ice out of principle. The Washington Capitals wore turquoise, black, and gold. The commies look Okay, it's back to the John Riggins one, which I assume plagues many of your dreams down there in South Beach.
Yeah,
John
we don't need to
Riggins.
talk about John Riggins and that Super Bowl run. That was unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, your highlight there. You know what
no one remembers that, Dameshek. No, like you realize only people of our age remember that. That human being who ran for however many yards it was, 60 yards on one run, that human being, that size, that weight, that color does not exist anymore. That's how old what you're saying. That human being is is extinct.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I can push back at all on that. Probably not, but yeah, first of all, the two takeaways from the Dolphins, little bit of trivia is Fulton Walker, number 41. He's the first guy ever to return a kickoff in a Super Bowl for a touchdown. So that was exciting. And also the correct answer to the trivia question that so often people get wrong when they say Trent Dilfer was in a Super Bowl. He's the worst to ever play in a Super Bowl. No, the late David Woodley is the correct answer. I don't mean to cast aspersions on him, but he is the worst quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl. David Woodley, who was replaced, of course, by Don Strock in perhaps the greatest game I've ever seen.
Dave, if someone told you one day that you have a soda drinker's body, would you be insulted?
Well, you can't even see my shape. Really,
well, I'm not talking about you in particular. Just if someone told you.
Is that an insult? He's asking, is that if someone looked at you and said, you've got the body of a soda drinker, he's asking for a ruling on whether or not that is an insult.
I'm going to say it is now. I think people now are up to speed on the high fructose corn syrup that's in those sodas, and I think people understand that they make our youth fat, right? So I think it is an insult, yeah.
Well, also something that's going to change thanks to that first guy that you mentioned. Let's rat-a-tat-tat some of these looks. I want you to pick the best one. These all received universal praise. The Bucks, not the first time they've gone to the creamsicle throwbacks, but it is the first time they've leaned into the all-white look. The great alternate. This is absolutely, I mean, you know me, I'm a Baker guy. This one for me is tops, but let's look at the LA Chargers alternate navy look. Harkens back to their 90s look. Everyone was happy to see this with a modern font.
Not me. Not me.
Why not?
I want the Fouts because I want the one that I just referenced, the greatest game ever played, or at least in the conversation, Dolphins Chargers, the Bavarian kickoff.
Don't dilute it. It's the greatest game ever played. Don't dilute it. Look, Dameshek,
my favorite.
Dameshek, have a take and stick to it. Look, just stick to it's the greatest game ever played. Don't dilute it with perspective and nuance.
You know, Football America is about inclusion, and our sport of football, it is our national pastime. It's replaced baseball. I think we can all agree on that. And nothing says that better than that early 80s showdown, Tony Nathan and Duriel Harris and all the rest of it. But that it came down to Benershka v. Von Schaman is the best. The Bavarian kickoff to decide all hash was just the best. And Von Schaman getting his block by Kellen Winslow and all the rest of it. What was the question? Oh, the Chargers. Yeah. Why don't they break out the Air Coryell era? That's what I want to see. The gold pants with the white shirt, Wes Chandler and all the rest of it. That's the snappy look in my book. That they live. They had the toe navy. I don't know who decided that was something that we pined to see, but I reject it.
All right, how about the Red Bills helmet that is coming back, an alternate helmet? Once I saw that this was back in play, I immediately put a future on Buffalo to win the AFC.
Oh, I see. We don't park our cars in the same garage here. This is the perfect example. People use it about the Buccaneers, but I think the Red Bills hat is one when we put it away for a little bit, then all of a sudden you care about it. No one liked these uniforms at the time. They were terrible uniforms. They were the worst thing about, and this is a team that lost 4 straight Super Bowls, and still the red hats were the worst thing about them. So yeah, I'm not excited about the return of those.
Dave, if you were on a plane...
Can I tell you something else, though? Can I just say one more thing about the Bills while we're talking about logos?
Seems like you're going to do it whether we say
I'm
going to
do it. That's exactly what. Thank you. I think though with the thing that intrigues me about the Buffalo Bills, and they appear to be cursed, and I think I know the root of why that is. It's because back in round about 1960, the AFL is starting up, and they say, "Hey Buffalo, we're going to give your town one of these teams," and then Buffalo sets about let's come up with a name for that team. And of course, the city Buffalo is named after the majestic beast that once roamed the plains. And then they decided to name the team Buffalo Bills after Buffalo Bill Cody, who devoted his life to killing all of the buffalo. So why did they do that?
Wild Bill Cody did that?
Buffalo Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill Cody.
Killed the buffalo.
Killed all the buffalo. So the city is named Buffalo, and then they named the team after Buffalo Bill, who killed all those buffaloes.
Buffalo Bill's the guy from Silence of the Lamb who has the mangina.
I understand. I see where you're getting that confused, but no, there was another Buffalo Bill before the one who had the dog and the lady down in the hole.
What did you say?
What?
No, he's right.
What did you say?
Silence of the Lambs.
Dameshek, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate your time. Your contributions here have been he pooped in a bathtub and that. That's what you've done over the last 10 Play on. The podcast is football, Tony.
America.
That sounded better. Jeremy's, yours was earnest. I liked yours. Can we try this again?
Earnest is never good around
here.
here.
Doing this again?
No, I don't want to try
Jeremy's,
it again.
yours
Not
was so
me or anybody
earnest,
else.
Jeremy, good job.
Yeah, good for you.
It's not a good one.
All right, we'll figure out how to say the name in future episodes.
Got an exclamation point.
Oh, you try so hard.
Dave, good seeing you. Thank you for being on the maiden voyage of the show. Try to get your technology right, please.
I will try to do that. Thank you so much. In the meantime, first guest, I'm working on Anatoly.
I want Anatoly. Like, I'm excited about this. Like, I can't talk about this enough. Was I introducing this to any of you guys? Were any
the name
of
of him? Yes, I had seen the videos.
I had
before.
never seen any of that.
No, but not just seen the videos though. I'm saying, had it registered with you to appreciate the videos as something? Those weightlifters are not acting. I've gotten, and I imagine this has happened to the rest of you, that most of you enter some of what it is you're watching, assuming some of these people are acting. And so the cynicism of that takes the joy away from it. But what these people are doing cannot be acted. So the surprise of these weightlifters, who I would expect to kick this person's ass at some point until they get to that, it is legitimately shocking to watch people who understand what kind of strength this man has discover it while watching it for the first time.
That's exactly right. Because it's like the way people respond to Nathan For You, for example, where they just assume everybody is sort of a stooge or the people on the rehearsal. But like, it wasn't that surprising because that's what happens in the gym when I go in and I do the same thing. So I understand why people are, sort of assuming you can't lift if you look a certain way.
I had never seen weightlifting.
We know.
You got a soda
drinker's body.
You got a soda drinker's body like that. We can agree on that, right? Like, we're not saying somebody has a soda drinker's body and then also saying that person crushes it in the gym, right? Like, just crushes it, does rigorous training. The two things can't coexist. Even if it's not an insult, we are not saying that person is a maniac in the gym, the soda drinker's body, correct?
Ronnie Belliard would like a word.
You would?
Ronnie Belliard, soda drinker's body. You know who else? Miguel Cairo.
It seems the exclusive domain of baseball players for some
reason.
Well,
if we're going athletes.
But you throw in a Kyle Lowry and a Jalen Rose every once in a while, but it seems we're just doing this to baseball players with the soda drinker's body.
That's one of the few sports that you could play, like, looking like that.
Carlos Stremski.
George Niang.
Oh,
that's
there
a good
we go.
One. That's a good one.
Attaboy.
See, but that's love handles, too. That is a good one,
That's
though.
a soda drinker.
Yeah. Niang, I feel for Niang on that he is not capable of muscle.
It's right there.
No.
But right there.
No, it's a limitation.
The soda.
No.
Just no sodas.
You know what's funny about what just happened out there? A good friend of mine who's visiting the studios here, he just walked through and he was looking at stuff, and somebody mentioned Elle Duncan. And he doesn't really know about sports, follow sports, isn't aware of what we'd be doing around here. And when the name Elle Duncan was said, he said, the girl dad? Like, didn't have a reference point for anything else, but knows her as a connecting human moment somewhere between when the helicopter fell out of the sky and Kobe Bryant died, and we all learned what a wonderful girl dad he was. Elle Duncan is associated with that in a way I want to get to with her, as Tyrese Halliburton is saying. He's being quoted as saying that he wanted to walk onto the free throw line and walk off the court the way Kobe did, but that his body wouldn't let him. And then he's like, how the hell did Kobe shoot free throws after that? Like, how did he get up off the ground and actually do that? That's the stuff that immortals do. Elle, thank you for joining us. It's always nice when you do join us. But as that moment resonated, the story I just told, that's pretty normal for you, correct? Somewhere in your entire career, being meaningful and moving to people, you connected with people there in a way that's hugely enduring, correct?
Yeah, it's interesting too, because sometimes people, like, if someone does know me from sports, like, they'll come up and they'll, be talking to me about sports, and then I'll hear them say to the person next to them who's like, who the hell is this? They'll be like, the girl dad girl. And they'll be like, oh, as a connection point. Even after it happened, like, I'd go to the grocery store and it would be like moms that would come up to me that are like, I don't really know you from sports at all, but my husband shared this clip of you about girl dad. There's certainly, worse things to be known for. And so it's definitely one of those. It's wild to me, Dan, to see even all of these years later. I mean, I shared that story in 2020, and every time someone has a baby, it's a girl dad. Every time someone has to apologize, it's, I'm a girl dad. It's just interesting how it's really taken on a life of its own, and it endures.
What do you remember, though, about all of it? Like the moment, and having any idea of where it is that you were speaking on behalf of people. You've got no idea when you're doing that. Oh, here's a way for me to connect with humanity.
At all. I was just sharing a story with one of our producers at ESPN about the time I met Kobe, because he had just died and I was doing SportsCenter that day. And he was like, you should tell that story. I was like, I don't know Kobe. We're watching like Tracy McGrady, open his heart up and he's visibly upset. We're watching all these people that really knew Kobe. So I felt like maybe it was, sometimes when people die, you insert yourself into the conversation. I remember. And so I just felt like maybe it wasn't appropriate. And he was like, no, I just think it humanizes him in a way that has nothing to do with sports. And we're hearing a lot about his sports impact, but this is a really cool moment that you had with them. And honestly, at the time when I talked with him about it, it stood out to me because, if Kobe wasn't on your team, if you're not a Lakers fan, you sports hated Kobe. He would always hurt your teams, and it was devastating. And I left that conversation with him, and I called my mom and I was like, I think I really like Kobe Bryant. She was like, what? I was like, I think I really like him. He's a great dude. And we just had this great connection. So then when it happened, I went to bed that night because I did the 6 p.m. SportsCenter, but I had to do the 7 a.m. SportsCenter the next day. So I went to bed at 10 p.m. and I woke up and I had 250 text messages. And the first thing I thought, because y'all know my mouth, I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I say? Oh no, I'm in trouble. And then I just started seeing these people that were like, do you understand what girl dad is becoming? And do you understand what's happening? And obviously it just kind of took off from there, but it was all very surreal because it was just such a devastating time. But I think it helped people compartmentalize and feel like they had a connection point to Kobe. They could never understand what it would be like to be Kobe Bryant, but they could understand what it was like to have such a love for your daughters.
More or less text messages after the Cancun joke.
I definitely had less text messages. My thing with the Cancun joke is I feel like whenever I say something, it's sometimes a reintroduction for some people who clearly don't know me or my work over the last 10 years. I'm like, bro, I said on air one time that if you celebrate too early, it's called premature ejaculation. I can't actually imagine that this is worse than that. I feel like I constantly have to remind people I have been saying things like this for the 10 years that I've been at ESPN. So I thought it was silly. I thought it was funny. Some people disagree. Some people definitely agree. But, it is what it is. Yes, girls say crude jokes too. The funny part to me, y'all, has been the people who are like, what am I supposed to say to my children? I'm like, well, if you have to talk to your children about the fact that D is a slang word for a penis, then I hope that I was able to help you have that conversation with your child that's old enough to watch basketball. Because my 4-year-old knows what a penis is. So.
Schmeckle?
Yeah. Ding dong. I mean, it's D. It's so silly to me. the idea that like this is, you know, groundbreaking or somehow like completely inappropriate in the landscape that we live in right now is just wild to me. I was a little blown, to be real.
I think that when we're in an age where Obama is being accused of treason, an age of stupidity, accused of treason to cover everything that he's covering up, it does actually make sense that people would be outraged and up in arms that you would make a dick joke. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. I personally think it's a double standard, but it is what it is. I also think that there is a disingenuous faction of the media who look for any reason to get me fired or any reason to like rage bait. Like they just wait. And I think those are the people that had probably the strongest reaction.
Well, I was surprised. Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. I was surprised the other day that, and look, this has been happening to me for a while too, but when I'm like, the Shane Gillis monologue, yeah, I know everyone liked it, but hey girl, like that's not the nicest thing you can do to gay people. Am I wildly offended? No, but whatever. Like I get yanked into the stream and now it becomes the argument that it becomes Le Batard criticizes ESPYs when I'm like, this is what we're doing now. Like I'm just, yeah, it can be funny and he's funny. He's obviously funny, but like it's not, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, you don't need to do that to him or gay people.
Yeah, as soon as you say like a joke, I felt, you know, more of the outrage in my space was around the Caitlin Clark joke. I felt like it was a joke that didn't land. You know, I felt like his first joke was really funny about they both nail threes. I thought the other one just didn't really land. I thought it was like punching down a little bit. You know, it's like very easy to pick on, you know, this sort of narrative and discourse that has surrounded the W for the last 2 years. It just felt lazy to me. But I like Shane Gillis. Like, I think he's really funny. And like, I think his show Tires is really funny. And that's apparently an unpopular opinion too, to be able to have some nuance and say some of his jokes were funny. Some of them weren't so funny and didn't land. Like, it's as simple as that.
I think the nuance here is that a lot of people are more than comfortable telling Karl Anthony Towns that he should be offended by it because they're making assumptions of their own on Karl Anthony Towns. I think Shane Gillis is seizing on something that is a popular meme across the internet about how Karl Anthony Towns speaks. And
yes.
For people to come out on behalf of Karl Anthony Towns and say that it's lazy, well, I say, here's a mirror.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. There was a whole like social media clip that was going around of Knicks fans imitating Karl Anthony Towns, and they all said it. Like all of them were like, hey girl. So he probably just kind of like saw that video and borrowed from there. But yeah, I think in general, what we choose to be outraged about and what we choose to turn a blind eye on is quite a study.
Well, tell us, because you live in this world now. You have become an avatar and politicized. You are very strong. You've been very strong for a long time. And you're now doing Vibe Check, which is, I'm going to say, unlike anything in the history of ESPN and maybe Disney. Do I have that wrong?
Yeah, no, it's the first women-led sports show. I mean, it's the first sports show on Disney Plus. You know, we have SC Plus that joined a while ago, and now it's us. I think it is a really cool opportunity to show. We've got, and you know this, Dan, like we have a lot of really talented women that work at ESPN that do a great job at their role, but also role specific, don't necessarily get to stretch as many muscles or sew as many tools as they have. So this just gives us an opportunity to talk and expound. This idea, though, that it was going to be, you know, one of the things that we all were very clear on from the beginning was like, it's going to skew female because the perspectives are coming from women, but like, we're going to talk about all sports. Like, it's not going to just be, we're going to be more of a home for women's sports because that home doesn't exist currently right now. But we're also going to like, we talked to Mina Kimes yesterday, right? Like she, in my mind, gender aside, is like the brightest mind in all of football. Like I want to talk to her about football all the time. It doesn't really matter. And so, yeah, but it's, you know, again, it's this sort of, the weird part of all of this is the randos that are just sort of waiting on this to fail. It's like, you know, like they're just waiting. They're like, I didn't see you last week on Vibe Check, so you must have got fired. And it's just, it's so bonkers to me. It's the same group and the same population who are outraged that the WNBA players are asking for more money. They're not asking for money from you, dummy. They didn't ask you to Venmo them. Like, why do you give a damn if they get more money? It doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't matter to you and you don't care. You just lay in wait so that you can be nasty and so that you can pray for someone's demise. It's the wackiest, goofiest behavior, and it's pervasive.
Why?
Well, because I think it's open season on women. I think in particular it's open season on Black women. Like they feel like a non-protected class. So it's very easy to be able to sort of just, again, low-hanging fruit. It's very easy to target someone like me. I'm, for the most part, not going to clap back because I don't really care. And I think that's just sort of the trend that we're seeing. I see a lot of women that I work with that are feeling incredibly unsafe's not really the word, but they're feeling very unprotected because it's the time right now. It's trendy right now to dunk on women. I don't know exactly where that started. I have some I think tells on where it started. I know that as Black women, after Kamala Harris lost, not to be political, but after she lost, there really was the group chats were going crazy with just Black women in general that were like, this feels like it's going to sort of be a trend of being able to feel like now we can, like, Black women are being put back in their place. And I think women in general, like, let's put them back in their place. They're getting a little too cute. They're doing a little bit too much in this space. So we need to remind them that they should be grateful for what they have and that they're not really wanted here anyway. But I think that's horse.
I can't tell you how much I love that you rub your hands together while saying that way, like just eager to sort of explain to us, look, do you know how this has been for Black women? And again, this really, we've got to fight everyone. What is the correct take on the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement situation?
The correct take is that, for all of the bad faith characters are saying things like they've never been profitable, they've never this. I would beg you to say at the company that you work for, okay, profitability is the concern of the CFO, the CEO, the board members. Imagine your company coming to you and going, we're not really profitable, so we really don't want to pay you. That's not how this works at all. And the idea of where this is headed, we see the growth. CBAs are negotiated every 6, 7, 8 years, right? So like they have got to negotiate right now based on where they're going to be 8 years from now. And the numbers don't lie, y'all. They don't lie. 3 years ago, when the Golden State Valkyries bought their team, it was a $50 million expansion fee. 3 years later, that fee went up to $250 million that 3 teams paid for to expand in the W, and that number is only going to grow. So you're talking about outlooking and forecasting where this league is going to be, and the idea that you don't think that these women should be paid more money is absolutely bananas to me. Again, it doesn't impact you. It doesn't affect you. People keep comparing them to the NBA. They have a 50-year head start. Y'all stop it. They're not asking for NBA money. They're not asking for $30, $40, $50 million a year. They're asking for money commensurate to where their forecasts are going to be 8 years from now, period. And so in my mind, the correct answer here is pay these women what they're worth. You can't argue the fact that NFL players get 50% of revenue and they get somewhere between like 7 and 10%. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's what they're negotiating in good faith. They're negotiating for consistency and practice facilities. It's all the things that you don't see. Angel Reese, I talked to her the other day and she's like, she's bold enough to call out her own team and say, like, the Chicago Sky won a championship a handful of years ago. We don't even have a practice facility. Like, this is not okay. And so there needs to be a through line. There needs to be some consistency about how we're treating these women, how much we're paying them, which is the sticking point, really, but also some consistency in rosters, how many players they can get on the team, because they keep expanding, they keep making more games, and they don't keep expanding rosters, which is why we're seeing so much fatigue, so many more injuries. Like, these things matter and are important, and anybody that's a fan or not a fan should be on board for people getting paid. Like, how you side on the side of a billionaire corporation or a league corporation is so wild to me as an everyman. The only people that should feel like these women shouldn't get paid is the league, because it's in their best interest to try to keep them, making as less money as possible so that their profit margins are larger. It just doesn't make sense.
I really need to turn the temperature down around here because she's screaming at me. She yelled something about bull. She's out of control again. I really need to settle it down. Jeremy, can you give me a game show of some sort that helps me settle her down, because she's out of control. She's cursing on air. She's going to get in trouble with the network.
Wow.
It's time for another edition of Elle Yes or Elle No.
I get it.
Elle Duncan, It is okay to take your first date to Pizza Hut. Elle Yes or Elle No?
Okay, I actually love Pizza Hut so much, and Pizza Huts are becoming rarer and rarer by the day. So if you can find a Pizza Hut that does the formal, like, checkered tablecloth, Miss Pac-Man salad bar, absolutely, Elle Yes.
That's huge news for your guy, Greg Cody, because that's exactly what he did on his very first date.
Give her the whole thing.
But this is the other part. Elle, it is okay on the first date to sit on the same side of the booth.
Absolutely not. Elle no. No.
Wow,
It's
I didn't
so
even have to
invasive.
finish.
It's so invasive. No. I had someone do that to me. I was so thrown off. It's very
creepy,
very invasive. I just no. Like, you're being a little presumptuous too. That I want to sit next to you. I don't even know you. Like, it's no. Nope.
Elle
did you
Yes
do it?
or Elle No?
No, Greg Cody.
That was
Greg Cody.
Greg did
On
it,
the
yes.
first date, Greg Cody
did it.
took his wife
Me.
to Pizza Hut.
Nope.
Yes. And sat next to Erlene, and they got married, but he thought he was being romantic, and she thought he was being creepy.
Yes, that's creepy. I'm glad it all worked out for you in the long run, but
Well, it
sitting next to
didn't.
someone
It
on a first
didn't.
date's wild behavior.
It created me.
Yes,
so.
that's not it working out.
Yeah. Gross.
It's an
Greg.
insult. It's an insult to tell someone they have a soda drinker's body.
I mean, come on. Come on. Out of frame. Come on. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Oh, who said that?
Oh.
Hell yes, that's so horrible.
That's right.
That's awful.
A mean person said it.
Very mean.
Give me an athlete who looks like they've got a soda drinker's body when I just ask you to conjure any athlete that you have to choose from who has a soda, or celebrity. Just who do you think of when you think of soda drinker's body? What body type are you looking at?
Like Jelly Roll. I mean, I know he's done a great job losing a lot of weight, but I would say he still looks like he takes down a gallon of Coke a day.
I don't like
Tony,
that.
argue
No, I don't
with
like
her.
that.
He's got nice
Argue.
teeth.
The issue is that's two
going on
on the
there?
other side. Like, we need somebody more in the middle, right? Like I said, George Niang. Now that's a soda drinker's body. Somebody who, professional athlete.
Yeah, we had
but
Kevin
also,
Youkilis.
Like
Pat-
skinny fat.
Patrick Mahomes.
There you
Nice.
go.
Soda drinker.
He definitely looks like a Mountain Dew guy. Like, he's just like, yeah. And then he does the thing where he's like, but it's Diet Mountain Dew, which is somehow better in their mind.
My brother, you said skinny fat. My brother always used the phrase fit fat. And he always would he would celebrate in the streets watching somebody. But these people were deeply unhealthy. Like, they were living a lifestyle that was good enough to make them fit, but everything else they were doing was wrong.
Yes. I used to work at a restaurant, and I worked at a wing place, and like, just to see the orders, they'd be like, I want cheesesteaks, I want chicken fingers, I want wings, I want fries, and I'll have a Diet Coke, please. And it has to be diet. It would just be so wild to me. They've convinced themselves that the couple grams of sugar that they're saving is just going to have nothing to do with all of the other crap they're eating.
Chris, bring down the bed for a second. I got another one I want to do with you. Give me
Oh, is this a
second here.
serious one?
Yeah, this is a real one.
Oh.
Elle Yes or Elle No. It is okay to pronounce this name this way.
Is Nika Ogumake.
What?
Is Nika Ogumake.
Now that's supposed to be Nneka Ogwumike.
Is Nika Ogumake. Is Nika Ogumake.
Nika Ogumake?
Is Nika Ogumake.
Okay. First of all, her name is actually Namkati, but yes, she goes affectionately by Nneka. That's wild. Because my thing is, like, I've definitely had some names that have tripped me up. Like, they just throw them at you last minute. You got to do a highlight, and you're like, I don't know that much about the third circuit of cricket, so I don't know this person's name, and I apologize. But Nneka Ogwumike is like a former MVP and the president of the Players Association and like Stanford's Hall of Fame
Is
and a
Nika
champion. So I don't know how you
Ogwumake.
don't know her name. That's crazy.
Is Nika Ogumake.
Thank you, David Sampson.
We don't dare play any of David Sampson's Spanish for her, right? How good is your Spanish? Elle, good seeing you. Thank you, as always, for making time for us. Sports Center host of ESPN's Vibe Check. Vibe Check is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Disney+. You can't be on enough, Elle. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you. Bye, Greg. Oh, hey. what's up, Greg?
Chris Cody has not let go of that yet. He is still mad at her because she called him Greg. Jeremy's pitch clock is coming up. Have you enjoyed that, Zaslow? Have you been consuming a lot of pitch clock?
Can I tell you something? I don't know, it was maybe like a month ago. And I decided to watch Pitch Clock. And I told Jeremy, this is a good show you're doing.
Welcome to the Pitch Clock. Here's the pitch, a two-part baseball segment combining a nostalgic baseball trivia game and an interview with an expert. This is the Pitch Clock. It's time for another episode of the Pitch Clock.
Hi, Roberta.
Taylor, we have another game. We'll get to our expert very shortly, but let's get started on this. Taylor, what do we got going today?
In front of you guys, you have the 2002 MLB All-Star Game and the starters at each position. We're going to do a new format for this game. Each guess you make is a half inning. So we're going to play 9 innings. Chris is going to be the home team. Jeremy is the road team. The highest total after the 9 innings is the winner. So Jeremy, this is considered the top of the first inning. Your guess.
Behind the dish in the National League, Mike Piazza.
1 point. That is correct.
National League first base, Rockies, Todd Helton.
Yep.
1-1 after 1 inning.
Nobody guesses Todd Helton more in these games than me.
Yeah, for real. Playing right field in the National League for the San Francisco Giants, Barry Bonds.
Wow, see, it's smart of you to realize that. Good outfield, even though he was a left fielder.
It is Barry Bonds. I will say, the outfield isn't really player specific.
Okay, that's good to know.
Position specific.
No, that's very
we got
good to know.
that from Barry Bonds, who was clearly a left fielder.
Yeah, very good to know. Okay. You're up.
Catching for the American League, Jorge Posada.
Hip hip Jorge. 2-2 after 2.
What we have listed as the left fielder, but probably played right field in the National League for the Chicago Cubs, Sammy Sosa.
Is correct.
2002. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay safe. Ichiro, right field.
Nice.
Mariners, whatever. You got it.
It is correct.
American.
Ichiro is the Mariner.
And the Minnesota Twin playing center field is Torrey Hunter.
Was this the one when he robbed Barry? Was this in Milwaukee?
No, but
yes.
My turn.
Bottom of the 4th.
Alex Rodriguez, shortstop, Texas Rangers.
That is correct.
AL.
4-4 after 4. This one feels like first one to miss.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Could do you in.
Our 2025 MLB expert for this week has actually joined me in studio. It's Arm Layton of Just Baseball. Thank you for joining me here in studio in Miami.
This is an honor, and it's awesome to be here in person.
This is going to be a blast. And where I want to start is with a team that, if you're not following Major League Baseball really in depth, the Milwaukee Brewers, all of a sudden, over the last month and a half, have been playing out of their minds on the type of pace that people thought the Dodgers would be on. They even swept the Dodgers in that stretch. Analytically, you would never think that this is one of the best teams in baseball. Can you explain to me how this is happening?
Yeah, I think they play old school baseball in a new school way, which I really like, because there may not be something that jumps off the page with them, but you'd be hard pressed to poke a hole in their game, whether it's on the pitching side. Defensively, they're fantastic. Offensively, I mean, they're not going to light it up, but they're still middle of the pack in home runs, and then they steal as many bags as just about any team in Major League Baseball. Yep. I think they're the new gold standard, really, of being efficient and analytically driven in ways that people outside can't really see, because we would have the same conversation about the Rays.
Yeah, no, it makes all the sense in the world, right? Every team has access to the same data, are trying to find ways to not only interpret that data differently and be able to find players within the margins, but then also teach to what they believe the most important strengths are in developing their players. And now you're seeing it come to fruition with the Milwaukee Brewers, and literally they are the best team in baseball, which makes no sense. And ironically, the other one being the Tigers, for the most part, same sort of deal. That back end of that bullpen last year, it was the reason they were able to go on that run, and you're seeing the Brewers do some similar things. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the upcoming MLB trade deadline. Which team in baseball do you think needs to be the most aggressive at this trade deadline to turn themselves from a very good team into a legitimate contender?
I look at the Chicago Cubs because I think it's multifaceted too, right? With the second you traded for Kyle Tucker, you gave up some good pieces. I support that when you're going all in to win the World Series, but you got to follow that up with more moves, right? They weren't a Kyle Tucker away from being a World Series team. They're really good, and I think they've got a shot. Any team can get hot and make a run. But the second they made that move, it was like, I think you got to do more now. And
that makes sense.
The pitching staff looks good. Matthew Boyd has been a revelation. He's been really fun to watch. But you look at that bullpen, you look at the rest of the staff. If you're really trying to make a push in the postseason, you got to go for it and give that indication. And the Cubs also have one of baseball's strongest farm systems with multiple top 100 prospects that are already on the 40-man. Owen Casey, power hitting corner outfielder, is on one of the best heaters also right now in AAA. Moises Ballesteros, he's catcher, more bat-driven, but he's coming along defensively. Plenty of teams would love to have that guy. And then Kevin Alcantara, he's a plus defender in center field. There's some swing and miss concerns, but teams will take a chance on a guy like that with good power, can stick in center any day of the week. And those are all guys that are already in AAA. So if you're a GM acquiring those guys, you feel a little bit more comfortable about the proximity and also just the hit rate there.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Center field in the National League, Montreal Expos, Vladimir Guerrero.
Yep, good guess.
It is Vlad.
Why am I so nervous about a couple of
Yankees second baseman Alfonso Soriano.
Nice call.
It is Alfonso Soriano. What a moment he had.
Man, not only that, but that he and A-Rod were the middle infield, traded for each other, the following season? Yeah. It was 03, right? That's crazy.
And then they were like, they're like, now get in left field.
All right, I'm going to do my first pitcher here, and I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I'm nervous, but I'm taking Randy Johnson.
Jeremy's going to go scoreless.
Yes! I was just like, hopefully he goes to it. Yes, it did. I'm going to go with who'd you say? Kurt Schilling. My bad. I was just like, wait a second. Who did you say?
That would have been a disaster
if I forgot which one he said.
Well, I just thought you were going to skip it, and then I was just going to go back to it and make sure that I scored a run.
That would have been smart of me.
6'5" Chris Cody
this
after
is a
6
disaster.
innings.
Okay.
He's going for 4 in a row, folks.
Oh, my God. All right, well, then I'm going to go Boston Red Sox pitcher for the American League, Pedro Martinez.
Think about it.
This has now turned into a disaster. It's another scoreless inning for Jeremy.
Are you kidding?
Oh, my God.
Who would have been? What?
Left field.
Yep.
Boston Red Sox.
Damn it.
Wasn't a left fielder.
No, he was.
You're right. I thought he played some right field too.
No, not really. No.
Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yep. They try to hide him with the Green Monster.
Let's go ahead and move forward here, right? The number one name that seems to be on the trade market in terms of this guy's gonna be moved, and he's a great player, is Eugenio Suarez. Which team do you think needs to acquire Eugenio Suarez as a third baseman the most, and what do you think that the price tag, in a general sense, ultimately looks like?
Suarez, I think, may be the most prolific power hitter to be traded at the deadline, because I don't think we've ever seen somebody with 35-plus homers moved before the deadline.
Crazy.
So, but I look at the Mariners, man. He has familiarity there. They love him there. I mean, the fans, he'd get an all-time standing O if they brought him back in town. One, because I think they just would be so happy to get more offense there. But two, because he was beloved there. He's been beloved everywhere he goes. And there's not a lot of players that have the experience of having hit there. For whatever reason, it's hard to see in Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. And I think that's a guy that would really jolt that offense and plugs right in at third base for them. And that's why I think the Mariners, though it's uncharacteristic, could really push the chips
They're
forward.
in prime position for it, and he is the type of player that totally changes your entire lineup. Like putting him there and hearing what those offers are probably going to look like, how could the Diamondbacks not make that move? So I want you to give me, if you can, 3 to 5 other players that you think will get moved, why they'll get moved, and ultimately a prediction of where they'll get moved.
So I want to go a little bit edgier here, not the obvious players,
Yeah.
right? The rentals on bad teams, of course, they're going to get traded. Yohan Duran from the Twins. I think this is a spot to cash in if you're the Twins. This core, it doesn't seem like it's totally going to work out. Duran's dealt with some injury history over the last couple of years, even as a prospect when he was a starting pitcher. I think this is peak of his value, 2 years of control after this one. And another team that I would have said should probably go all in a little bit more is the Phillies. That core is not getting any younger.
Yeah, that's true.
Zach Wheeler is going to retire after 2027. Bryce Harper ain't getting any younger. Trey Turner's not getting any younger. JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber's going to be a free agent. And I look at that team, you got the starting pitcher, and Christopher Sanchez just went at CG. He's been unbelievable. But the bullpen, they signed David Robertson for a reason, $6 million the rest of the season. But I want someone that can lock it down.
That's great.
And I think Duran's a guy that can really push them over the top.
Are there any other guys that you're focused on here?
A surprise might be Taj Bradley from the Rays. That's where I could see the Cubs get creative. Generally, they don't go all in on rentals. They like to manage things a little bit more carefully, look at the big picture. Bradley comes with control, so you could make the case, hey, we're adding our pitcher for this year, but at the same time, we're making an acquisition where if things go south for whatever reason, we get bounced in the first round, we're not going to be upset that we moved assets for a pitcher here. So I think that would be a really nice match
Perfect
made
spot.
there.
That's the exact type of player you want to acquire. I want one more name from you. One more name with one more prediction of where they're going to end up.
This is the rental side. I think this is such a fun fit. The Astros are probably not going to go crazy. Their farm system's probably one of the weakest in Major League Baseball. But I see Cedric Mullins as the perfect fit to make that team so balanced out there.
Rocks.
Right? He's going to go get it in center field, and I think he could be the perfect spark for them with the speed, sneaky power, and great defense up the middle.
This has been tremendous. Aram, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to, on our next episode of The Pitch Clock, when we return, check in and see how right you were or how wrong you were on these predictions. But I love the insight. I'm sure our fans are grateful for it. And we're going to have you back in here at some point soon. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you. Hey, everyone, go check out Just Baseball. What he and Jack do over there is tremendous. And, Ethan's a part of it. Kind of, whatever. We love you, Ethan. Back to our game with Chris. This is a disaster. So I'm gonna take one of those Phillies.
Yeah.
Scott Rowland.
Yeah, it has to be.
It is Scott Rowland.
Okay, thank God.
The real question is just like, was this guy their shortstop this early?
Exactly. That's the same. It's the same. We're having the same question.
But I don't think they had another all-star shortstop, so it just kind of has to be.
I can't who's the Red Sox pitcher?
That is true. I'm struggling as well.
I can't. I mean, there's someone in my brain
right
now, but there's no way.
Couldn't have been the guy that you guessed for the other side? Was he there then? See, I don't know timelines.
Yeah, you're right. It's him.
Yeah, it is him.
It's him.
But now I'm afraid.
You have confidence.
I'm trying to follow your guys' line of thinking, and
Did Chris Cody just say that Randy Johnson was a Red Sox?
Yeah, let him guess it.
I was saying Kurt Schilling,
Jerk.
obviously.
You
That's
guessed
who
Kurt
I was
Schilling.
going to say, but no, that's not my guess. Relax. I'm going to go Jimmy Rollins, shortstop Phillies.
It took a while to get there, but Chris Cody does clinch the win.
I feel like if everything I said there was pretty spot on. What I said was
Yeah.
is I was like, it could be Nomar at third, which I don't think that's actually true because I don't think they would start a shortstop at third.
Right.
Or Bill Miller.
No way, it's Bill Miller.
And he was a
Is
good
it
third
Bill
baseman for
Miller?
them.
You're not going to believe the name it is.
All right, hold on.
And then I was going to say it could be Kurt Schilling because he played on the Diamondbacks and he also was a Red Sox.
But it was Kurt Schilling when you guessed. I guessed Randy Johnson.
Oh, my bad. That's
and
right.
So
there it
you
is. That's the
already-
part I f***ed up. All
Kurt
right.
Schilling, the
you would've
rare
guessed
pitcher to
Kurt
start both sides.
That would have been wild.
I would have loved if you guessed.
And that's
Kurt
why you
Schilling.
said it. Oh, so you knew it wasn't Mark Teixeira too? Is that
Yeah,
why you
it's
said
not
it?
Tex.
So that's why you're like, I
So
think you.
is
It's
that
so
one-
obvious. You were. I think you should guess the pitcher or
Is
the
that
first
one?
baseman.
Well, I didn't think that you had any clue what the other ones were,
Yeah.
and Rollins was ultimately the only one you felt confident with.
Yeah.
I have. So the Yankees' first baseman, it's either Tino or Giambi, but I think it's Tino at that point, right?
I'd go Giambi.
Giambi.
It is Giambi. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't guess it.
Yeah.
There's no way the Red Sox pitcher is Derek Lowe.
It was Derek Lowe.
You got to be.
And was it Nomar at third?
It wasn't Nomar. This one was by
is
far
it?
the toughest name on
Hold
this
on.
list.
Don't say it.
I don't have a shot.
Give me initials. I mean, I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna get this.
Think Toronto Blue Jay too. SH.
Oh, Shea Hillenbrand.
Shea
No
Hillenbrand.
way. Shea
I
Hillenbrand.
mean, you had to walk me there, but I still feel good about it.
And is the Montreal Expos second baseman Brian Giles?
No.
No? Okay, good.
Initials for the Expo second baseman, JV.
JV.
Wow.
Give me another hint.
Yeah, anything else? Did he play for another team?
Career 300 hitter, 3-time All-Star, Silver Slugger.
What?
Jose Vizcaino.
No way.
Right first name, Jose Vidra.
Oh my was a
nice little hitter. Nice little hitter, that guy. That was like a Placido Polanco type hitter.
Shea Hillenbrand.
Like a guy that'll bat like 290 for you.
I can't believe
Jose Vidro.
Shea Hillenbrand. Derek Lowe? Hey, Juju.
What up, dog?
You like the Bills' new red helmet?
Oh yeah, I like that. They got a blue one actually that they're waiting to debut.
Like a new blue
I like
one?
that one better.
What I
Yeah,
like-
it's a blue one with the pants.
Juju, what I like so much about the red helmet is they're going to use it with their current uni set, and they have that red alternate, so it'll make some
Yeah,
sense.
it's gonna
But
be sweet.
I mean, Dave's not wrong when he said their uniforms were bad when they had the red helmet, but these uniforms are
Right.
good, and I'd like the alternate look.
Yeah, that white helmet gets a little stale. It's like, come on, guys, what are we doing? It's 2025.
Yeah, I mean, initially I was against all these teams having alternate helmets because that is what is so identifiable with the sport. I liked having consistent looks, but once you open the Pandora's box, like, let's get all these additional looks out there so some of these uniforms can make sense.
When college football does that a lot, like basically every team has at least 3 different helmets or 3 different colors of the same helmet. It makes the sport more entertaining to watch because you have all sorts of different cool uniform combos.
I could talk uniforms with Dave literally until my life's end.
I have a direct message chain with multiple people from UCF where we were just predicting what the uniform sets for each game are going to be next year, and it was the best day of
What
my
a
life.
terrible
group chat. Oh, it's called Drip U. It's incredible.
Boring.
Juju, what were the reactions of our football Americans to Dave Dameshek's maiden voyage here with Meadowlark before we debut his show? Because I thought he was very funny.
Yeah, he was hilarious. I didn't know he was that funny. From the right side, I don't know if you guys could see it. He looks a little bit like Pablo Pascal,
You know
Pedro
what?
Pascal.
Zaslow said the same thing, and I'm like, Zaslow, why didn't you tell him this? It's like the greatest compliment you can give a person right now physically. A man,
Right.
a man. There's no greater compliment. So can we turn Dameshek? Can we turn him into beefcake? Can we turn him into
It's just soda drinker's body, Dan. Don't
sex
start.
into sex symbol like that?
He didn't stand up. You know why?
You know, if the light catches him just right on the Zoom, he looks like the sexiest man in America.
Yeah, also soda drinker's body. Another one nomination, Travis Barker. I think he has a soda drinker's body in the
Tremendous.
other way.
That's such a perfect way to play
He's like
this
Dr.
game,
Pepper.
Juju.
Another good way to play it is put it on the poll, please, Juju, when you're done updating the polls. Does Dameshek look like if Pedro Pascal got really, really sick at Le Batard Show? I'm just saying.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Good Lord. Like he had to be hospitalized for pneumonia, but he bounced back.
Okay.
All right.
And
All
that
right.
was like 3 weeks ago, and he's bouncing
All right.
back.
All right.
Add this as well. Does Dameshek look like he was hospitalized for pneumonia and then just end or like Pedro Pascal was hospitalized for pneumonia and end the question there?
No, but like 3 weeks ago, now he's on the road back.
No bouncing back, just hospitalized for pneumonia.
No, because that makes it seem like he looks bad.
The Pascal family is still worried he's not going to make it. He's been hospitalized.
But he's got like 3 weeks of having solid foods.
No, the Pascal kids are they're worried about the tubes. No, he's gotten really, really sick.
I loved his riff on the Raiders logo.
I can't believe I hadn't noticed that about the Dolphins. How is it that I had not thought for a moment about just the irony, the comedic, cosmic universe irony of Tua's helmet needs more helmets and the dolphin on the helmet doesn't have a helmet?
But then it's helmetception because the Dolphins wearing a helmet inside of a helmet inside of a helmet, even though the Dolphins wearing a helmet that the team has never worn before.
Maybe the
as a
reason they
helmet.
got rid of it was because it was such a hypocrisy to have the helmet that had the M on it on the Dolphins. So they get rid of the helmet with the M so that this way they can just put the logo on the helmet.
The hypocrisy is it's not a leaping dolphin, but there's a sun behind it. How?
We are back. Chris, take it away.
Thursday Thunder presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Did you win one? Did you win one?
No, absolutely not, Dano.
But the segment is back, Dan.
Tonight we are going with my sister Natasha Howard for over 10 points. Caitlin Clark is still out, and the Indiana Fever need pieces to step up, and she is one of the biggest pieces over there in Indiana. Moving on. We're going with Aaliyah Boston for over 7.5 rebounds tonight. She's going up against Asia Wilson, South Carolina versus South Carolina. So she's going to get in that paint and get on them boards tonight. Last leg in the same game, we're going with Nalissa Smith for over 6 points. Her ex-team, the Indiana Fever, coming into town. She's going to want to shut them down, lock it in.
People, this is what I'm telling you, and I will continue to tell you this. Juju cares way too deeply about these things that he is telling you to do, and they are most often right. They are 2/3 of the time right. We need them to be 100% right, and they're almost always 2/3 of the way right. So I recommend to you, if you're not a parlay person, bet them individually, and Juju will have won you a great deal of money by now.
You just don't get it, do you?
I'm just saying.
You just don't get it.
I feel like
it's a parlay, and we're gonna hit it. All right. You don't get it.
You can also bet them individually, though. You can.
It's a parlay.
Let's play the sound I referenced 4 hours ago and never got to of Jeff Teague accusing LeBron James of using steroids. And
what did he say?
He's since walked that back slightly.
Which Bron was better?
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat.
I'm going this Cavs Bron because this Cavs Bron had a 3.
Man, y'all crazy. Miami Heat Bron was, he was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real. Like legit was on steroids, bro. Allegedly, but like he had to sit out. But y'all remember when they told him like they
there goes the Clutch Sports allegations.
Y'all remember that though? No. But they was like he got everybody. They started testing for HGH, and they was like, yo, and he had to sit out. Like he said his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just I was in the league. I remember. We got to interrupt this real quick. Shocking breaking news, and this is going to be a complicated one. I hate that I'm delivering this news to you, but hit it. Well, I guess we shouldn't. No, you know what? That's in poor taste. Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71. Oh. There were really concerning reports. Bubba the Love Sponge, complicated relationship there. His show was reporting on his health, the fact that he hadn't been speaking in several weeks. Hulk Hogan is now dead, according to TMZ. At the age of 71.
Cardiac arrest, according to TMZ.
So it is a little bit difficult to go from that particular breaking news to the rest of what we're doing without eulogizing, at least for a moment, one of the most famous athletes in the history of the world.
Who had to deal with a public reckoning for his past. It really complicated legacy. There are a lot of wrestlers inside the WWE now that feel a certain way about him. WWE fans have had the opportunity to voice how they feel about Hulk Hogan because of the tapes that have him saying the N-word on them. But if you could cast that aside, I'm not telling you to, but I'm asking you if you could, at his peak, very few people were more famous than this one person. And at every point throughout our adult lives and childhood, Hulk Hogan did mean something and was identifiable. And hopefully in death, people can find those connection points too, because he certainly represented a lot to a lot of different people.
Okay, but let's go ahead and do this correctly, and we can do it as a trilogy instantaneously without having to varnish it up in the way that people do when folks die. When you say the complicated legacy of Hulk Hogan, it includes being involved in the middle of a sex scandal betrayal, alleged betrayal with Bubba the Love Sponge, that also includes the use of the N-word, that also includes Gawker bankrupting,
Bankrolled by Peter Thiel.
Yeah, Deadspin. It really chronicles in the ushering of billionaires who have a lot of power and don't like to be outed by the media, corporate media, any kind of media, and want their power back and don't want to be told what to do. So they bankrupt Gawker through Hulk Hogan, funding Hulk Hogan, who, at the time they got him, had a little bit of disgrace on him and a little bit of has-been on him, but had been, at one time, in the world, the most famous athlete at the time, who might not have been like Muhammad Ali. When we're talking about worldwide fame you can connect with, you don't need to understand the language. This is a quote-unquote sport that people are growing to embrace, and it is led by this one guy who was the Rock before the Rock, nationally and internationally, and he built that sport into everything that it is, and his relationship with other wrestlers was complicated because it was filled with lies and steroids and fights and everything that made wrestling what it would become, the way that UFC grew up right before our eyes, and Hulk Hogan over the last 5 years, maybe 10, has torn down almost everything that he once built, being a multivitamin salesman on behalf of America's kids because he wore the yellow shorts and he told you how to be healthy. And he really reached Americans and he reached the world through his talent, through his speech, through his showmanship, and through being a great athlete with an extraordinarily limited wrestling ability, because there wasn't very much wrestling there.
Famously, like the worst finishing move
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. I mean, but the charisma was off the charts, and in our lifetime, there are very few either athletes or people that are associated with a brand. Like, you play under a brand. The PGA Tour. Tiger was bigger than the PGA Tour. Michael Jordan was bigger than the NBA. Hulk Hogan, bigger than professional wrestling. And say what you will, you can have your own rankings. If there is one singular face that you attach to sports entertainment and professional wrestling, it is Hulk Hogan, for better or for worse. And like I said, there are a lot of children. He was playing a role. And the message when we were growing up was eat your vitamins, say your prayers. It represented America. And there will be a lot of that nostalgic stuff too.
I do need to say, though, because I've noticed in the last couple of days and where the generation gaps are on Ozzy Osbourne. Jeremy, what do you know about Hulk Hogan, given that your childhood to adulthood has him as has been?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm also admittedly not a wrestling guy, so I never would have probably been introduced to much. But like for me, in the same way we were talking about Ozzy Osbourne, like I knew Hulk Hogan first for his VH1 show. Hogan Knows Best.
You knew him as a sitcom dad.
Yeah, and wasn't a huge fan of that one and the character that was there as much as I was with Ozzy Osbourne, who was like tremendous. And then all I've known of him is when I was 20 years old. The tapes came out of him using slurs, so like I've never really had this connection point that I'm sure so many people do. But for me, I've always just I've kind of only known the negative as someone who recently turned 30.
Well,
so
people are complicated. People are onions.
Yeah,
There's layers
course.
to them, and you're not your worst moment. You're certainly not your best moment. You're certainly not a character that you play on television. I will say I'm friends with another very complicated person from professional wrestling, and Ric Flair, and I will say that the kindness that Hulk Hogan showed Ric Flair while he was going through his health troubles was so shocking and uncommon to me that it really took me aback and made me view his kindness through a different prism. You're not all bad. You're not your worst moment. He was capable of very decent things too. I know from secondhand accounts.
Wrestlers would tell you that he is more responsible for building the sport than anyone ever. And they would also tell you that his self-interests were such that he was everything from a liar to a snitch to a person who was only interested in making sure that he got over in wrestling and he got all of his. Like, this is the
famously,
opinion
that's
in
not going to work
wrestling.
for me. Yeah, that's not going to work for me, brother. Had creative control. Didn't necessarily do like what Ric Flair did, which was put other people over, hand it over to the other generation. No, Hulk Hogan didn't necessarily get down like that, but that adds to the lore.
That's my biggest reference point to Hulk Hogan is the word brother. Yeah. Right? Like,
Yeah, but
I never watched wrestling
Mine's
too.
the cupping your hand to your ear.
Brother.
He told the story on Highly Questionable. I would love for you guys to get it since we were talking about Andre the Giant. They flew across the country together, were drinking the entire flight. They got to Japan. Andre the Giant slams Hulk Hogan, lands on him, and because they drank so much the night before, Hulk Hogan simply immediately upon Andre the Giant landing on him, shit his yellow shorts, just shit them like it's. So Andre the Giant lands on him, and it's so heavy that Hulk Hogan, who's not small, whatever it is was inside him, just shot out of the one orifice available into the famous Hulkamania yellow shorts because of how giant Andre the Giant was. Again, this isn't Andre the Giant shitting in a bathtub. We bring closure to all of this by saying this is Hulk Hogan shitting in his pants because the guy who landed on him was somebody so large that he had to shit in a bathtub.
I think we did a good job trilogizing Hulk Hogan, Juju. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as one of the Negroes on the show, I think there's definitely a moment that we don't like. But like you said, you're not your worst moment. Growing up, he was the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the NWO with the black and the gray. So, and Thunder in Paradise.
Oh, wow.
Great show. So I grew up loving the man. You feel me? It's unfortunate what happened later on in life. And then, like you say, man, like we can't always. I'm not gonna worst moment him out right now. You feel me? I'm just gonna salute the man's life and his legacy. Great man when he was great to most of us, and rest in peace, brother.
I know wrestling fans especially are heavily opinionated when it comes to Hulk Hogan's legacy, but it is sad and it is a reckoning with what he did. At his last moment in front of a WWE audience, he got booed out of a building.
Not quite Ozzy's ending.
No, not quite Ozzy's ending. That's for damn sure.
We will get to some of the things here that we were going to get to with Juju as awkward transition, but because we usually wait and we close the file on people, but because this happened during the show, I do think it honors Hulk Hogan to tell what I believe to be his most famous story told to us. He was on with us a handful of times, and I think, Jeremy, you tell me if I have this right by the time we finish playing the sound. I think Pablo Torre Finds Out took the fun out of this story by saying that this story's not actually true, but I want to tell it anyway. And it kind of fits as Hulk Hogan's legacy ends. Just end it with a lie and
his revisionist history.
And we'll remember it fondly.
The truth. Who needs the truth?
He
got a great story.
Liar.
He's got a great story. Look, at the end, Hulk Hogan just had a story that was interesting. Is it true that you passed on the George Foreman grill idea?
No, that's not true. I missed the phone call.
What happened? Tell me the story.
Well, I mean, George Foreman and I had the same agent, and my kids were complaining that I was always towards the end of the line picking them up at school. They would get out of school at 3 o'clock, and these soccer moms would start lining up their minivans and talking shop, and so I would come at 2:45, 15 minutes before my kids get out of school, and I was at the back of the bus. So I went to McDonald's early, got Diet Cokes and got the burgers and the fries, and it was a big surprise. I get to the school about 2:45. I was the first one in line. My kids came out. They were all excited. I had the drinks and the hamburgers and stuff. And we went home, and I checked my answer machine. And my answer machine, my agent called me. He goes, "Hey, Hogan, I'm calling you. I got two things. I got a grill and I got a blender. I got these two choices for you and George." So when I called him back, my agent says, "Well, I called you first. And I figured you'd take the grill, but you weren't home, so I called George, and he took the grill." So $450 million later, we've got the George Foreman grill in every size and color you can imagine. And I got the blender that you'd put 8 ounces of water, a scoop of protein, and a AA battery in it. It'd spin 3 times and fart and cut off.
Great story, unfortunately.
Who cares if it's true or not?
Totally
Dan?
untrue.
Who cares?
Totally untrue.
That's his
per
legacy.
Per the grill inventor and also his agent.
It is
or
his
lawyer.
legacy.
You could say that about him. Great story. Who cares if it's true?
Well, I care about the one story, whether or not it was true.
This is why
That
we
one
hate
was
journalism, right? This is why everybody hates Pablo for finding out that that's
He ruined
not
it.
true. Yeah, he ruined
Ruined it. Top 100 podcast all time. And
well, so is Good Hang with Amy Poehler, and that's only been out since March. So I don't know what this list is.
Maybe next time.
Juju, what else do we have today that you want to get to before we get to the polls?
I want to say Elle Duncan, another magnificent performance and appearance on the show. She broke down the talks like you want them broke down. She made a good point. Why is anyone on the side of not paying anyone? You know what I mean? Like everyone out there standing up what is your reason? Like, I hope everybody gets paid. I hope everybody I know gets $1 billion. I don't care if they deserve it or not. Just get it. And also, one mistake that y'all made during that, she said that whenever the New York fans was saying, "Hey girl," whenever they was asking Kat, they wasn't saying "Hey girl," they was saying, "Oh my God."
That is what they were saying.
Yeah, so they was saying, "Oh my God." But yeah, man, great appearance from Elle once again.
We interrupted because of the breaking news where we were headed with Jeff Teague accusing LeBron of steroid use. How ferociously or how carefully has Teague walked that back?
Oh, he's walked it all the way back. Y'all are weird. I was just joking about Bron. Chill. He was just that dominant. Chill. That was on his IG
He did
story.
say allegedly, too, at the end.
Yeah, this is
allegedly.
There's confidence there, though. That was conviction.
Right. Why are we weird?
Y'all weird is great. It's like, me? No.
You did that. You did that. What do we do? Your podcast
should have added you, Dan.
Your podcast is very popular.
I heard it on LeBatard Show.
What do you mean he should have added me?
You famously
you did it first.
Right.
I don't know.
Let that be a lesson. Why you don't put LeBron and steroids in the same sentence, or
Dan,
you will
listen
get
to
that
Juju.
call.
If you had to bet and be right.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Nope.
Never
Never did anything.
Update the polls at Le Batard Show. I don't know.
Nope. Definitely not. That past and future member of the Miami Heat never did anything like that.
Hedging his
Right.
bets.
Also, before I get to the polls, I want to salute the biggest story on the internet yesterday. We didn't talk about. Congratulations, Taylor Rooks, for tying the knot. She got married yesterday to her brother named Shane. Congratulations. Love is back.
She married her brother? Wow. That's shocking. That Juju, there are moments on Twitter that unite us all on that terrible platform. It used to be things like DeAndre Jordan being held hostage by the Houston Rockets, but last night was one of the good ones.
Star-studded.
Star-studded with dudes like Jack Harlow that are still playing the long game.
Hell yeah. First poll, more impressive to win, a Pulitzer Prize or 2 championships? 68% of the audience says 2 championships. Congrats, Zaslow. Also, more love we didn't mention, Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion. Bravo. Bravo in that camp. Most painful place to get a tattoo: the neck, the kneecap, the lip, or the skull. Man, this is the closest race ever. But with 29% of the vote, we got skull as the winner. And yes, it does hurt. It hurts very much. Kneecap was, I still think the kneecap is the one, though. It's like, until you got a kneecap tattoo, you can't vote on this poll.
It also would make me squeamish, I think. Like, no one, something about it.
No one doubts that, Jeremy.
We know.
Well, I mean, look at me. I understand. But
You
still,
brought that one on
walked
yourself.
right into that one.
I know, I get it. Look, do the show.
Last poll, does Joe Rogan have weird nipples? 95% of the audience says, yes, he does. And those are your polls.
Good show today.
The right and the left uniting over Joe Rogan.
We had a lot of guests, and we still made it work. And rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace, brother.
I make foul.
That's the way you do that.